Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome to the Motorsport Australia Simagic GT3 Cup. It is round 5 at the Colosseum of Speed, you could say, Monza. It is a 60-minute race, and with 2 mandatory pit stops, and by the sound of it, it sounds like we're going to have a little bit of rain coming in for qualifying here. Joining me in the commentary box is Justin. Justin, what do you think?
It'd be cool to see some wet stuff. I haven't seen some wet stuff this series yet, so I'm excited.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to throw a bit of a spanner in the works. I mean, these guys, I'd say, being in the... I was just about to say, being in the GT3 Cup, these guys would have done a heap of practice in the wet with previous events they've been on, as we have Sasha here, I believe the points leader coming into this round.
Yeah, Sasha, without a doubt. I don't even have to check that. Has to be. Oh, she's a shortcut the track there.
Doing a little bit of rallycross there, that's all right.
Yeah, is an international driver though, so she's not actually the leading Australian, which is Chris Cooley, who is 23 points ahead of
Benjamin
driver. But Sasha is the points leader in the international series. They have their own separate prize pool. And then we've got Benjamin Piper in second for the Australians, and then Leo Dreyer in P3. And there's George Book, who's second on the international. So I'll scroll all the way down. Jake McKellar is in P3 for the internationals in the Pro-Am series. So again, this is the Pro-Am series. Later on we'll have the pros. That's going to be exciting as well. I wonder if we'll get a wet session for that. Oh, this is actually getting heavier. It started off as damp, and it's actually just gone to wet now.
Wet, yeah. Track conditions are now wet. So yeah, those who have come out just now is they're gonna have a bit of a battle, uphill battle now with this track, and judging by the forecast, it does not look like it's going to get any drier, as this session progresses. So right now is probably the best time to get out on track before it gets any wetter.
Yeah, I wonder if it's actually going to get the start of the race. If the start of the race is going to be a little bit damp. If I remember right, it starts not long after the practice session, right? The qualifying session. 2 hours. Okay, so it might have dried up by then.
Yeah.
So,
judging by the overcast conditions going, 10 and 30 minutes after the current conditions, most likely we're going to get some dry running, but you never know. The track could be still damp, and we could be getting some well, let's just say greasy conditions and all that.
Oh, for sure. It's definitely going to test drivers here. It's a lot harder to keep within track limits when it's wet. Everyone tends to make your mistakes are amplified in the rain. You go a little bit wide, you go a lot wide. You don't just go onto a curb, you go over it.
Exactly. You miss your braking point by a millimeter, and it turns into like a couple of meters, and it's yeah, not fun when you're you feel like you've got a little bit of a chance to pull it up in the dry. In the wet, you go a little bit slightly out of line in the wet, and you are near eye passenger.
Yeah, that's right. And I also wonder if people are still running their low wing setups in the rain, because Monza's a track where you generally run super low wing, but generally in the wet you want as much wing as possible. So it's sort of a damned if you do, damned if you don't moment with this track in these conditions.
Yeah, exactly. A bit of a compromises need to be made, and well, that'll be really interesting in the race too, especially with just general stability, especially around the two Lesmos, and going through Ascari especially, where I had a little bit of a moment on the last lap of my race in split blue and split green, I should say. Yeah, Ascari's not where you want to be making a mistake.
No.
Okay, all good.
Alrighty, so I was just admiring the first three people across the line were within a couple of tenths of each other. The first three to cross the line were all within 2 tenths, so the field's looking pretty competitive so far. Again, in the rain, it does take a little bit to get those wets up to temperature and also to get your eye in with the conditions. As we see, Sasha Death already 6 tenths up nearly, with a few corners left to go. Oh wow, gaining another full tenth in that couple of corners.
Yes, full commitment through Ascari there, leaving nothing on the table. You know, coming down to the Parabolica, is she going to take it? Just brake a bit deeper, aim for that apex, and then drift the car out wide, or just a little bit. There was a bit of a squirm mid-corner. And
yeah, lost a fair bit of time, actually.
That's it, yeah. Just forced to take that outside line, and coming to the line is still going to be P1 by exactly 2 tenths. And look at those those guys in second and third getting the exact same lap time.
Yeah,
that's what happened last round.
Yeah, I remember that happening too. Yeah, so this is how close the field is. We're consistently getting people doing the same time every week, so it's great to see, and it's right at the front too. Look at that. So, as we've just had Rika actually pip Sasha, but we know Sasha has a lot more left on the table, and she's already a tenth up already, but she lost about 4 tenths in the last corner alone. And, yeah, look at that tightening up at the top here. We've got 5 cars within 4 tenths, and another one slotted just behind that, Mike Reel.
Yeah, you can just see how Sasha takes that second chicane, you know, not taking any curb, using a lot of curb there, which, you know, you generally would not take, you know, in the wet, but yeah, she seems to be very confident going over curbs in the wet. So, yeah, all power to her, I guess. And as we see the delta 3.5 tenths up, but as we see, who's in the lead there? Is that Tonkin?
I can't quite make it out, unfortunately, but I'm sure we'll get an update in a sec. Our cameraman has just gone AFK for a second. He's got a little emergency, so we won't be able to swap around or anything. But again, we're on probably the fastest car in the field once Sasha gets around here. But she's 5 tenths off the pace, so we'll see if she can get it all back after that big mistake last lap. Is she gonna
use? Oh, there we go. She did lose a lot of time through Ascari, but made it all up in the Parabolica and more. 6 tenths up, coming to the line, and it's automatically on pole. It was Tonkin with that slotted into second there, but a 52.9 for Sasha there. Oh, big slide there. For who was that?
I missed it. That was Drea right now.
Drea, that's it.
So Drea pushing really hard. Currently in P3 and looking to go into P1 if he can keep this gap up. Oh,
my
throwing this car around. This McLaren is all over the road. Yeah, losing. Unfortunately, that sideways is slow. It looks cool, but you lose too much time. So he's down a little bit.
Looking more like a Porsche through Ascari there.
Yeah, that was a lot of wheel action happening. That's for sure.
A lot of snap oversteer than what most McLaren drivers are probably used to, as those things are very planted. Going to the line and just a little bit down on his time, but I sense there's going to be an improvement here.
Yeah, sometimes, really, more often than not, in the wet, smooth is fast. So it's Rob Bulbert Johnson now on back on Drea. No, that's all right. And so we're going to follow Johnson for this lap here, down in P6, and looking to improve. Again, only just a little over 4 tenths for the top 6 cars, so everyone's improving all together as well. Paulie, who was right up there in P2 at one point, is now all the way down to P8. Hasn't improved as Brown pops themselves up into P7. And Johnson actually bails out on that lap. And And here we are, we're on George Cook now. So George Cook second in the championship for the internationals, 8th overall. 5 tenths up.
On a very nice lap here.
This is going to be going for pole by quite a bit, actually, by more than a tenth, with a few corners left to go. So let's see if he can nail the last little bit.
He still has to nail Ascari, and that is easier said than done. Carries a lot of speed through Ascari, and he has to pay. He has to, pay the toll. Taking the middle part of Ascari there and lost a lot of time.
Oh, I couldn't believe how much he gained. So we're on Drea now, as Drea is actually 7 tenths up, nearly 6 tenths up. Yeah, here we go. So Drea's got to put this on pole by a mile, by 5 tenths if he keeps this gap.
Possibly the conditions are starting to dry up just a little bit as we see Cook go over the line, but only for P4, but you sense there is again. Yeah, you sense there is definitely improvement as everyone seems to be improving. Piper now almost 6 tenths up coming to the line.
This is exciting. I love these qualifying sessions where you just got to be out there doing laps and not making a mistake, because every improvement's worth so much. So Piper goes P2.
Exactly. The track is definitely evolving right now at a rapid rate. Everyone is improving by almost half a second a lap as we see Piper almost get a bit of a false sense of hope there. thought he was going to be 2 tenths up through the first chicane there. As wow, we got someone in the background there hanging it real wide out of Lesmo too. So we're jump on board with Real here. Half a second up going into Ascari. Can he get it stopped? And very nicely over the curbs, just nice and patient with it. Just stay patient, and that patience has got him, just a little bit of time.
It's a little bit. Good to see the traffic getting out of the way there. Someone that's not on a lap, making sure they're not holding anyone up. I'm just going to add ACC World Racing in chat. This kind of is a new series. It's new for us. We've been running it for a couple of months now. So Octane Online Racing is running the Simagic GT3 Cup, which is actually powered by Motorsport Australia. So this is Motorsport Australia, the real life racing group, have sanctioned Octane Online Racing to run this league, and everyone here now has an Australian motorsport license as well. So I don't know whether that means they can go and race in real life, but I believe they are registered in the database. So they are real race car drivers that are part of the esports series. So this is a very exciting initiative, and it's been ultra competitive. This is the times and quality of driving you're seeing here. This is the tier 2 guys. The tier 1, not the tier 2 guys. They are the guys that didn't quite qualify for the pro. They're the pro-ams is what we call them. So the best drivers are yet to come, and they are just scary quick. But these guys are also very, very quick as well.
I mean, it's pretty cool to just put in your bio and just be like,
yep.
Official licensed motorsports driver. It's like motor racing, motor racer. So, as we go on,
the rules are slightly different. We're running 2 pit stops tonight. Is that right? We don't normally do that in 1 hour races.
Correct,
we normally do 1 hour races. So we're running 2 pit stops. I think the handbook is on Octane Online Racing's website if you want to check it out there. There's a few little subtle differences, but the biggest one is that we're not running custom VOPs or anything. We're running the games one. So the drivers were able to select what cars they wanted, so everyone's in a car that they chose. But they stay with that car for the whole half of this series, for the final part of the series, that is. A lot of drivers did change it, as Sasha actually goes pole.
Big lap there from Sasha.
Yeah,
very big. 2.5, well, pretty much just over 2.5 tenths up on the rest of the field there. And well, last lap, what can anyone do? The track is definitely evolving there. As we see the current conditions now, it is just overcast. There is no spits of rain coming onto the track. Track is evolving. Exciting times there, Justin.
And Real's already a 10th up. That's It's pretty big for the first couple of corners. I mean, if you can make some big moments, as we actually got the number 69 of Tonkin having a little lose on the last corner, but regathered it. Unfortunately, it's probably going to ruin his last lap as well as he goes across the line. And so Mike Reel here, 2/10 up. Can he move any further up the field? Again, I think Reel would be pretty happy with a top 3 start though. Which, Chris Cooley, who's our second place person, has finished in 6th place so far for the qualifying, but
yeah,
that's pretty vulnerable. It's very close down the back there.
I just watched him in the on the mini map there, and he just missed the cutoff for another lap there. That is cruel.
Mike's looking great. Wow, look at that gain on the entrance there. 5/10 on that first parabolica, but losing a bit on the exit. So obviously a slightly different approach to his fastest lap. I think he's still ending up slightly ahead though overall.
A little bit. There was a little bubble coming out of the final part of the Ascari, but now as he enters through Parabolica, carries a lot of speed,
that's wide.
Washes out way wide, and that is going to ruin his momentum. Unfortunately, coming out of the Parabolica, it is only a 12/10 improvement there. Sorry, 1200th, I should say.
That's right.
As Drea is very close to Sasha here, but yeah, Sasha has completed her lap and will not take further part.
Smooth.
Drea very close here. As
oh my goodness. Where's he gonna drive? It's all up to where he drives it.
Is he gonna get it? Oh, he is just going to get it by 2 thousandths of a second. I had to double take there. That's probably one of the closest qualifying differences I've ever seen.
Well, it's the first time we've seen Sasha get beaten, I believe. Sasha has been so quick and untouchable. Took a little bit of moisture in the air, and she comes undone. But Andrea, fantastic lap.
Well, how about that? In the most dramatic circumstances, Drea taking advantage of the track conditions, the ever-evolving track conditions, and just by the skin of his teeth there, pipping Sasha there by 2, was it thousandths of a second, I should say.
Yeah, 2000s. That's you go tenths, hundredths, then thousands. So it's a .002. That was very close. You can't. If that was a finish of a race, that's what you call a photo finish. It is so minuscule difference, and in those conditions, that's amazing.
Honestly, that's like a close NASCAR finish.
Yeah. Oh, and Tonkin's actually finished up in P3. Well done, Tonkin.
Yeah, he was just able to keep it clean, get his lap in, and take advantage again. Just keep it on the road, I believe, as we saw a lot of drivers, lose it through Ascari, lose it through the Parabolica, and yeah, that was their lap done. Reel was one of them. I believe it was Johnston as well that had a moment, and yeah.
But just by the way, it is raining still. It's still raining.
It's still going, but you have a look at the conditions, the future conditions. It is going to dry out. So, with 2 mandatory pit stops, we will see.
You got to start on wets. It'd be silly to start on slicks.
100%. You start on wets, but how long do they take it? As the track conditions are wet, so it is going to take a while for the dry conditions to kick in. What's the bet here? Do you fuel up, or you just maybe hope for a safety car?
I feel that you're going to see all the cars pit at exactly the same time, like within a lap or 2 of each other, because the track's got to swap to greasy, and everyone's going to get off the wets very quickly.
I mean, those wets will be very much past their what would it be? Their temperature. The usable temperature and all that. Way over pressurized, I should say.
Yeah, they'll definitely be screaming for some water. What ends up happening, those blocks of tread move around, and they overheat the tires so fast, it's not funny. And then you're just running on super soft rubber that just doesn't grip. It's not soft and sticky. It's soft and fall aparty. Is the way to describe it. They just fall apart on you. So they're absolutely horrible to drive on wets that are tall. And they move around underneath the car, and it just keeps generating even more heat. Alrighty,
That's it.
warm-up lap has started. Again, we've finally got a new pole set, although Sargent's still on the front row.
And well, as we run through the rest of the field here, I was going to make mention, like early on in the piece, that Chris Cooley is leading Pro-Am, like the Australian standings for Pro-Am for this split. And yeah, for all those Aston Martin fanboys out there, this is a good viewing, honestly. taking that Aston Martin and placing it near the top.
Easy to back up.
Cooley?
Cooley is in the Aston Martin. You're right, yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say cool. It's like I was reading it right? Like Cooley is in the Aston, making the Aston do.
Only Aston in the whole series. and doing it very memey as well. Look at that car.
Oh, absolutely. That is just that's an ass strip if I've ever seen one.
So I just want to point out that Alexander Tonkin is way out of position. Look at these drifts. Look at these drifts. Chris just showed off. So Duncan is P3 where they're currently P17 in Gem Chip. So they are way out of position compared to normal. Obviously feeling like it must be a bit of a duck. Must love the wet weather. That's my feeling. Is Duncan is absolutely flown in the wet, which is fantastic to see.
Well, you know what they say, wet weather is the greatest equalizer.
It sure is. Yeah.
Oh my god.
We've got Crooks on. Cook on dry. That's it. Very cool. Interesting to see. Watch out for Cook locking up and spearing through the field. Hopefully not. Turn one.
Ooh, speaking of turn one, are we... Alright, chat. Who's going to put the bet that we are going to have a turn one incident? I mean, we don't want to see it, of course, but...
It's
Wet
Monza.
conditions, yeah. Wet condition,
wet.
turn one. Yeah, it's the odds are stacked against these guys, let me tell you.
To be honest though, generally sometimes when it's wet and a bit of spray in front of you, it slows the field down. Is it just because the rain actually stopped? No, it's still raining a little bit. It's still spinning.
It's spinning.
The front cars does have a little bit going on that windshield. Here we go.
Here we go.
You want to take us away?
Why not? Let's give it a go. This will be very chaotic, I am guessing, as they are coming up to the line. We already see Piper very eager to get on with things here. Coming into the control line, they are, race start has initialized, and we see again Piper just a little bit out of position there as we head to the green flag. Right now is an even start there from Drea and Death as we look into the row behind. 3 wide for P3. Are they going to get squished? Is there going to be a pincer movement there? As we come into the first corner, there's definitely going to be a heap of spray as Death runs to the pit deep there.
Oh, everyone's running wide.
One's off. They're almost all going off, but other than that, everyone seems to be going cleanly here as we see Piper and Cooley absolutely going hammer and tong there. Speaking of Tonkin, around the outside of Drea, I believe there. Drea's going to try around the outside. Are they going to make it evenly through? Yes, they are. A lot of respect shown from everyone as we see one car going off. Not sure. That was Cook on those slicks. Not much grip there, unfortunately, buddy. As we just see now in the top right-hand corner, the weather has stopped raining, but it is going to take a long time.
Surely these front two are going to get a penalty. They both can't turn one, and then these guys aren't in the race, I don't think. Really not. Definitely both cut turn one. So I really think it's going to be Drea in front of Tolkien for or Tonkin in front of Drea, sorry. For whichever order this is, once you get through the next point, this is
Johnston, I believe.
Yeah.
A little bit wide there from Johnston going through Ascari, and as we see, the track conditions are already damp. So
I was going to say, I'm going to call it Chris Keeley is in P3 right now on track, I'd say. I swear these front two are going to get a penalty because both of them cut corners multiple times. So they're going to get at least a 5 to 10 second penalty.
Well, we will see about that, as I did see Sasha definitely cut turn 1, just going way too deep, going into that, going into the chicane. You know, wet tires, you know, wet conditions. Yeah, it's it's basically anyone's guess right now, being the pioneer.
Chat's informing me that turn 2 is optional, so you don't have to take it. Look at Chris flying. This is fantastic. So fantastic start by Chris here. It's looking very solid. And maybe Cooks doesn't seem too silly because Cook's only a second behind last place right now, and those tires might be starting to hook up. And also he's going to have warm tires when everyone else pits for those slicks, although he's going to have to pit still, as long as he doesn't lose too much time.
That's it. And but I will say though, if the conditions do improve, he will have to take care of the cars in front very quickly, as getting held up in traffic is not the thing that you want to be doing, especially at a track like Monza.
Yeah, that's right. And reminder, Cook is currently P8 in the championship, so we'd expect him to be around the top 10 there somewhere. So he is down from where he'd like to be. As Chris gets a whole bunch of curb there. Absolutely. Oh, and Sasha's squiggling all over the track. I'd say these tires are potentially starting to get hot already with how much they're walking around. Oh, it's the is right.
Rika just held onto that coming out of Ascari. I don't know how they did that.
Oh my goodness, this is no.
We're just trying to regather ourselves here. I have no idea how that was even possible. As I mean, Rika did lose 2 positions from like maybe something earlier on in the race, or from that sideways moment. But yeah, they're still in the race, and you know, as long as you got all 4 wheels on the black stuff, then you're doing fine in my eye.
I'm just going to ask Glenn, could we have an onboard replay of that if possible? If you've got the ability to do that, that'd be fantastic. If Rika going sideways, yeah, that'd be so much fun to see, I reckon. And the battle's continuing behind this with Brown and Steely.
Steele, yeah.
There we go.
Brown's just peeking up the inside there, just filling the mirrors momentarily as Brown does just fall in line. And we'll wait to pounce. Maybe coming into the traction, coming into the Lesmo 1 here, as Brown dives it up the inside. Very solid move, very in control, and up into 8th place. But a little bit of a look from Steele as he gets very close to the gearbox of Brown there. And well, great move.
Just Brown's traction off of the turn 3-4 there. Just it was like he was in a different class category. He just launched alongside from about a car length behind. So fantastic traction down, obviously. Maybe Steele just got a little bit up on the curb and sorry, that's not Steele, that's Johnson, is it? Yeah, Johnson, sorry. No, it's not, it's Steele.
No, it is Steele.
Yeah,
it is Steele.
Right. And he's having to go defensive. Maybe he's running more wing. That might be not the thought, although the Porsche isn't that fast in a straight line.
That's it, yeah. As we see, Brown did have to go defensive through Parabolica, as we do have a replay incoming here. As we see this sideways moment, I believe, from Rika, as, it started just as coming out of a scarring, going through the gravel trap there. Wow, that is...
Good job avoiding there by Brown.
Oh my God, I just... Doing that in the dry is, you know, very, very difficult to control. It's only amplified by doing it in the wet, and hats off. That is brilliant driving from Rika. As we see, they are filling the mirrors of Steele here, Possibly going for a move, trying to unsettle him coming into the second chicane. No, just stays in line and will keep the top 10 for now.
It's, I'm very surprised that, oh, here we go. Big move up the inside by Brown. Brown definitely is looking really comfortable in these wet conditions.
Brown most definitely on the charge here as taking a little bit of advantage as both of them get a little bit squirrely coming out of Lesmo too. As but that mighty straight line speed of the McLaren just edging out a little bit coming into Ascari as all four of these in a line. Might be a little bit of spray on board for these guys as as commentators, we can't really see a lot of spray, but in-game, 100% there is going to be just a little bit of spray to throw them off.
I notice they're all chasing water now too, so those tyres must be getting warm for some of the drivers now. We're still in that damp zone, so I'm still guessing that the wets are faster because Cook is our benchmark out there on the slicks, and it's not really losing, but a few people diving in. Okay, so some people wanting to get onto some slicks. Cook has lost some time. Past one car, but he's lost time to the back, the car he was chasing. So 155 by Cook on his last lap. And a 152 for Sasha. So he's 3 seconds off Sasha out the front. And does that Real pitted? Okay, so Real's with the bullet and pitted, who was actually in the lead. Again, probably expecting a penalty for Sasha or Real or both, as they were both quite a bit ahead after the first bit, unless they somehow readdressed it. We didn't see it because sometimes they use the comms to readdress those things.
That's it, have a little delta they need to go down to or something like that. Not sure how they do it, but I don't know, just having a little spitball.
So and Johnson just got a 30 seconds stop go. They'll be speeding pit lane, so they'll get adjusted. I was like, hang on, what was that for? Oh wait, yeah, that'll be adjusted. Because we don't have officials that are in danger of being run over, so we don't penalise you quite as hard as they do in real life.
Yes, as
10 seconds.
Ooh, isn't only 15 seconds for a speeding in the pit lane?
I think they judge it depending on what it was and how bad it was.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, like if you do 50 k's an hour over the speed limit the whole way down, they'll give you more than 10.
Yeah. Fair enough. As we see a lot of drivers opting to pit, as if it was my opinion, I'd wait until be watching Cook's lap times and seeing if or a little message on the side there saying slick tires optimum come up on the side of your heads up display there. But yeah, a lot of drivers
pretty warm. That's what I was going to say. So they might be actually seeing their tire temperatures going too high and going, oh, I've got to get off these because these are probably slow, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're slow. And they could just be covering off the other drivers around them too, as, yeah, well, it feels like half the field has pitted.
Yeah, but, well, we'll see if staying out or, coming in and getting a massive undercut on everyone else will work out for those guys, as we see Tonkin here for what we believe is a net P1 for well, if they're going to give a infringement to Sasha. Yes, a little bit late now for the infringement, so yep. I believe it's just on as they go.
Yep. So, we got someone going around the background. Not sure who that was. 996, I think it was.
That is Steele.
Yeah.
Steele, who was up in fourth there.
Oh, no.
Still around.
Still spinning. That must have been 5 seconds of spinning sideways. So
Unlucky. Must have had to have been an Ascari moment.
yeah, that was on the exit, probably over that curb as Death has come in and Tonkin has come in as well. So wow, that's quite impressive. Let's see where Sasha comes out. Does Sasha jump ahead of Real? I've got a feeling Sasha will be ahead of Real after this pit stop. And we've got to move to the lead.
Yeah, as we see Cook making use of the ballsy strategy that he opted for, as the track is now greasy, so slick tires are most definitely optimum now. And Cook just making this, what would you even call it? Just, opting for the dries and just sticking it out for about 10 minutes there. And hopefully reaping some sort of a reward there.
And I'm really interested to see how Cook's plan will play out. Unfortunately, he still has to pit, so he was a long way away behind the leaders though at the time. Here's the cams. So this is Real versus Sasha Death, and so Sasha's actually Drea, sorry, and Drea as well. So this is the top three. Sasha's the one that's got ahead here, but Sasha has the cold tires, so potentially Real and Drea can catch up and get past. But again, we've seen the speed of Sasha every single week. Sasha that's it. So quick,
I reckon, and I reckon if they have any chance of catching Sasha, they really need to work together. Can't fight each other, and maybe use a bit of I'm gonna bring up NASCAR again because I just love it, and just use a bit of bump drafting maybe down the straight. I don't know, it's a bit of a, you don't really see that much in GT3s, but why not?
Well, yeah, and we've got Real reeling in Sasha by the looks of it. It's definitely, the gap has closed a bit over the length of this lap, but again, this Death will be speeding up as the tyres warm. Oh, big moment, bit too much curb there. I wonder if that actually counts as a cut as well. I can't remember how much of that curb you can take before you get the warnings.
I have noticed actually, yeah, sorry, I'll just butt in. I have noticed when I was racing here on Wednesday that the track cuts, or the track, the track limits, I should say, are actually quite generous for Monza.
Here we go, and here's Chris Cooley about to leave the pits. Was in P6 before the pit stops happened. It's going to come out P6 again, I think. So no major changes actually, apart from for the lead. The lead is a big one. So Real definitely pitted a little bit early. Or Sasha just drove absolutely amazingly, I'd say. Appears to have been not too much difference between the slicks and the wets for a lap or two there. So Sasha's really putting the hammer down. I've got a feeling Real's actually slightly holding up Drea. Drea looks really racy and wants to get past. But Real's definitely throwing everything at it.
Yeah, and the pole sitter is definitely a little bit frustrated, just sticking behind Real there, and yeah, Drea will definitely want to get a move on.
That's right. And so where has our brave person ended up? Oh, Cook's still in front, so Cook's still leading the race with the fastest lap of the race as well. And Thurcolini is finally pitting.
However, I just seen Sasha going through Ascari, and I do believe that a new fastest lap is going to be on the horizon here. If she can take the Parabolica nice and smoothly, and I believe that that fastest lap is most definitely going to fall into her hands.
That's true. She's using all the track here as well. Although, Real still doesn't appear to be falling back too far. If anything, gap's staying about the same. So, no fastest lap that lap. 0.2 behind the fastest lap. So it looks like, is it just me or is Real pulling it in? I think Real is pulling Death in again. So Real's obviously pushing 110% because he seems to catch Death and then makes a little mistake and drops back again. So maybe my statement was wrong that he was holding up Drea. It was just more when he makes a mistake, it looks like he's holding him up, and when he's driving a really smooth, fast lap, it's reeling right in. So, but that's what you get when you drive on the limit there.
That's it. And I've just seen the splits there. Real has lost just only 2/10 going through the first sector. So maybe he can reel Sasha in through Sector 2 and Sector 3. We will see.
Yeah, Sasha goes probably a little bit too wide there. The second right-hander onto the big, long back straight.
As we see the splits, and Real has just made up only 1/10 of a second there. It's just a little bit wide there, almost taking a little bit of gravel as the souvenir there. Going through the parabolic, the amount of speed they're carrying, and it's not even optimum conditions. Tell you what, these guys, they may not be in the pro class, but they are most definitely up there as Death goes straight to the top with a 49.7 as the new fastest lap. So yeah, just made up half a second going through the final sector there. Incredible driving there.
Yeah, these the times are just going to keep tumbling now as they keep finding more and more grip out there. Ooh, we got Curley getting looked at by Brown. Brown's looking exceptionally racy in race pace here. All day. Absolutely flying. As Johnson has actually gotten a 10-second penalty for something. Was that the pit stop one? I think
that was the pit stop one. Yeah, that was pit lane speed infringement.
That's what we saw. So look at these two. Oh man, that Porsche is looking so racy. I love the design he's done on it too. I think that's quite a racy looking Porsche.
That's it. I believe it's taking it a bit retro there. I believe the PlayStation symbol is just on the roof there. You can just see it. But yeah, very nice retro look there for the Porsche. As yeah, going through Lesmo too, taking all the curb on the inside, and Brown is right up tucked under Cooley's wing here. He'll have to, get back into line through Ascari. It is definitely a one-line corner. Both taking considerable amount of curb there. The track is a little bit, oh my goodness, a great run out of the Ascari there by Brown, and then he has to be thinking of a move here. Well, has a think about it and just goes back into line. Cooley will have P8 for one more lap at least, as Tonkin goes straight to the top with a 49.1. Track is definitely improving by the lap.
Yeah, I can't believe how evenly paced the field is. Everyone's swapping fastest times. We've had 4 different people setting fastest laps, and all of them in the top 5, and they're all only about a second apart from each other as well. Apart from Cook, who's running an alternate strategy, and will pit eventually, I'm hoping. Probably the ideal time, we'll probably have the best tyres towards the end and won't have to extend his stints anywhere. So it's going to be really interesting to see where Cook ends up. He did definitely lose a good chunk of time though in that first couple of laps when it was wet.
That's it, and I'm just thinking as well, like the tire pressures are going to play a massive part going through this stint, as we see Brown having a little bit of a peak up the inside, and it's going to cost him just a little bit of time, and Cooley keeping it cool under pressure there. So he's dealing with the pressure very well as Brown makes it up through Lesmo too.
Ooh, but Cook's in the pits. Sorry, just want to point that out. So we're going to see.
That's all good.
our answer. Where will Cook end up? My bet is probably about P10. I'm just going to guess there.
Yeah. As you see, the track is now just jumped up from greasy to fast. As Brown now is going to have to take the outside. Cooley defending like a lion here. Going through the Parabolica. Who's going to break the latest? It's going to slightly be Brown. But, very well defended there by Cooley. And Brown will have to take a little bit of a alternate line through the Parabolica. He's still got P8 for one more lap at least.
Cook is moving. But he's going to end up... He's going to be about P10, right where I guess. P11, I think. Just behind Rico, he's coming out. So that has left him about even. but he's got better tyres though. I think his pace will bring him further through the field.
That's it.
Because he's generally inside the top 10. But we'll see.
We'll see. And, one thing that just came to mind as, a lot of drivers did switch to the dries through even the damp phase as well. Like those tire pressures are going to be not ideal, but now Cook has had a chance to tour through the pits, maybe change a few things to the tire pressures. And we know tire pressures have a huge effect on grip in this game, so a little bit of something to think about maybe.
Yeah, Chris has got the windscreen wipers still on, hoping it'll start raining again. It's usually the sign, right?
it's wishful thinking at least.
But, man, that Porsche, he's throwing it over those curbs, trying to get as much exit speed as possible.
He's still making time doing that as here they come into the Parabolica once again, both very, very close to each other. Another fastest lap there for Stasha there of 48.2. Gee, that's
a lot faster.
Yeah, that's about the pace that I was doing on Wednesday night, and I'm nowhere near Sasha's pace. That's for sure.
The track only just turned fast. So the second it turned fast, Sasha just went, what was that, 8/10 faster all of a sudden?
That's it, yeah. So. Although I did notice that the track went from the track has been fast for about a lap now, actually. Yeah. So I'll just make a comment about the track conditions. A lap before, it has gone from greasy to fast in like 10 seconds. It was at like green, and it just went straight to fast.
That's what happens when you got all these race cars sweeping it and adding rubber in the right spots. I love this game when there's that light, low light, and you can see the reflection of the lights and stuff like that. It's such a beautiful game. Oh, here's the beautiful sound. You drive this car just for the sound.
100%. I drive this car just for the sound, and also it keeps me on edge. And you don't want a car that's too easy to drive, otherwise you'll lose focus and all that. Whereas at least you're with the Porsche and you're constantly on edge, so you're just like, I have to be 100% full concentration, otherwise this thing is going into the barrier.
He just can't keep up with Chris in a straight line though. He's right in that draft and not gaining anything. That little short shift there. Look at the flick he gives it.
Good.
I love that.
Yeah.
So aggressive. Just big flick left.
Little flick in the last part of Ascari there, just to get the front nose just pointed in the right direction, in the general vicinity of where he wants to go. And as he takes Parabolica a little bit tighter, another fastest lap for Tonkin here, now 48 dead. And Brown has gotten a very good exit coming out of the Parabolica, going to tuck in the slipstream.
How is he not catching? This is so sad. He's actually getting pulled away from. No wonder he can't get past. I've got a feeling that Brown is actually quicker. Just doesn't have to. He has to keep backing up in these corners. So
yeah, it's unfortunately 100%. He's running a lot more wing than Cooley is, and more wing and race trim. Good on tires, but terrible on the straights. You just become an absolute sitting duck.
It's I'm just looking at the gaps at the front. Tonkin and Drea have closed in on Rio, so that gap is really closing in up the front there. Whoa, he's putting his nose. That's actually made Chris go wide, but no, Chris closes the door. Oh, good save by Chris and fantastic by Brown to get out of it and not turn him around. That's actually, I'd say, bump and play on. Oh, he's gotten past though. He's gotten past. Never mind.
Ooh, we'll have to take a look at that. I'm sure the
I think Chris just let him past.
Yeah,
That's what it looked like.
Yeah, we'll have to investigate a little bit further there. But yeah, as it stands now, Brown up to P7, and it's got a lot of time to make up as going through Ascari, like that final part of Ascari. I just don't know how they keep it together, especially in these conditions.
Oh, sorry, wrong button. No, I was meant to hit my mute button then. Sorry about that, chat. Yeah, look how much of a gap he's pulled. So Brown is clearly a lot faster, just really struggling to get past and needing to do on the infield there. Dre is now 3/10 from Real up in front. So I wonder if this battle's going to continue or if it's going to peter out. I think it's going to peter out now that that position has been changed.
Exactly, as we have an action replay here for the incident at the Lesmo. Big dive at the inside there. A little bit of Cooley puts in a little bit of a squeeze, and they just even it out there. And
they do. Oh, but then Chris just runs wide.
Bit of an uncharacteristic mistake there from Cooley. Maybe a little bit unsettled from that previous incident at Lesmo. Probably just you just can't believe that he was still in a straight line.
Man. Yeah, definitely was a little bit spooked from the incident in the corner before, but that I think that might be left alone. It's we'll see what the stewards have to say about that. But again, I don't think Chris will be too hard done by, because the mistake the next corner was all their own fault. Because I was like, there's no way he got past, because he definitely sat behind.
Yeah.
The guys up the front are really close now. If we could jump to Drea, Drea is looking. He's less than a 10.
There's an overlap there, and coming into that second sector, which is the start of like the run up to Ascari, Drea was right tucked in, or maybe even overlapping Real there, and Real's just pulled that little bit of a gap, a little bit of an insurance policy, as we see Drea diving into the pits for his final pit stop. I was going to say the first taker. Yeah,
that's early. That's really early.
yeah. I was going to say the first taker, but it looks like Beaton has beaten him to that mark. Yeah, that's it.
It's going to be hard not to do puns in some of their names, unfortunately.
I get it from my dad, I swear.
That's all right. Yeah, we're just losing our minds a bit with how it's hard not to make puns out of the drivers' names. We've got a Real and a Fisher,
we still got one more race to go, man. I don't know. We still got half of this race and another race to go. So
we've got cooking up specials and dear.
Let him. All I gotta say is just let him cook.
Let him cook. And Pumpkin's still the fastest man on track, and we are halfway through the race, says the comms man. And again, I'm really surprised to have seen the fact that a couple of drivers have taken their pit stops with 30 minutes left. Although, again, that is normal for OOR. People have shown that 30 laps is very easily doable without losing too much pace. So maybe their tyre pressures aren't right, and they feel a 30 minutes stint with their tyre pressures at the right tyre pressure would be better than trying to get 10 more minutes on these tyres also.
Yeah, and for a track like Monza, which I do believe that it is very low tyre degradation, and we see Ricker there having a little bit of a lunge, maybe out braking himself, and just pulling out a little bit of a gap to Cooley, who I think is struggling for pace just a little bit. Last lap was a 48.7. I'm guessing a lot of other drivers are in the low 48s to now high 47s, as Cook now with the fastest lap, finally taking advantage of those fresh tires that he bolted on with about 40 minutes to go.
That's right. Yeah, so they've done 12 minutes of running. He'll be getting lower down in his second stint. As most of these drivers, again, anywhere between now and the 20-minute mark is what they're going to do. I guess they've all of them are going to either do 2 25-minute stints to finish off, because they all came in around, it was about 10 or 15 minutes. So yeah, they're going to do around 25-minute stints each, or they're going to do a 20 and a 30, which is what I think those first couple of drivers that came in did. They did a 20, and now they're going to have to do a 30 to finish it off this race. And yeah, now that Brown's got in front, Brown's has sort of walked away from Chris here.
Yeah, he really does. It's still going strong. I believe the rubber is
just waiting for his fans. That's what it is.
That's it. Yeah, but I don't think there'll be much rubber left on the wiper by the end of the race. It's kind of just burning up and stuff like that. So yeah, probably not. He'll probably definitely need a new wiper blade come the end of the race.
Yeah. Well, what I can tell you is at extreme high speeds, the wipers definitely need water, because the amount of pressure on them, they don't like it at all.
Oh yeah.
Going this fast, like the game even puts the shake on that happens to them. You can see that if you look at the wiper where it's sitting here.
Yeah, exactly.
You get that as well, and they tend to just break when you're not even using them.
I can imagine the as we see a little bit of a look there for Rika around the outside, maybe looking for the switch to the inside there. Nothing doing, but I was just thinking that the wiper motors must be on a lot of stress. I'm talking about wiper motors here. Well, there's a race going on.
Oxford new wiper, says T-Rack. I like it. Fresh rubber, please. Fresh rubber on the windshield wipers.
As we
Oh,
see,
Chris! Chris!
Oh, that was a little bit of a squeeze. And Cooley just getting a little bit of rallycross there. Where has he gone? Is he ahead? Yes, he is. Okay. And I was a bit scared that Cooley had a rallycross moment and
Launched it.
yeah, so it launched it into outer space, but he is still on the track. All four wheels are still on, and it is, as you are.
I have a feeling that was a little bit. Oh, I don't know. It was hard to call. Again, I'll leave it to the stewards tonight. It's been a few really tight calls tonight of, oh gee, what do we do there? Was that racing, or did Chris move a little bit under brakes there? Rick definitely ran out of room, and it ended up running him into Chris. Chris has ended up with the advantage though, so we'll see.
That'll make the Aston Martin fans, who are, I'm guessing, abundant in this chat, very happy. We have another fastest lap from Tonkin. Tonkin, I'll tell you what. Didn't you say that Tonkin was 17th in the standings?
Yes, he's currently 17th in the standings. So absolutely flying. This is way further up the field than we'd expect to see him. So having a fantastic race is Alexander. And
outstanding job there from Tonkin, like just setting lap after lap, keeping up with genuine championship contenders here. Just absolutely turning a corner at the Coliseum of Speed.
And this is a big race for Real as well, because Real is currently 9th in the championship, so this is absolutely huge. A podium here, he would be absolutely elated with. So expect to see him fighting for every position. I love this purple car, by the way. I think this looks nice.
I have a thing for the other series that I run in. I do run like purple cars and stuff like that, but I changed it up for the OOR Sprint, running that Manthe Western Sydney Racing livery. Is Tonkin taking a little bit of gravel there as a bit of a souvenir to take back home. Yeah,
just adding ballast. Don't worry about it.
That's it. Just taking the BOP changes and just putting it on his car. So yeah, as okay.
Oh, and Sasha as well.
And Sasha as well. Big Big pit there for Sasha there, coming in from the lead of the race for her final pit stop.
It was just really quick that session though. Like pulled out 6 seconds, was it, right before the pit? That was ridiculously fast stint by Sasha there.
Yeah, it looks like you know, she's got the Tifosi definitely on her side at a track like Monza, and yeah, looks just to be a she's definitely in control of this race.
We'll see if Drea's undercut has worked as well now, because Drea was pitted, you know, a good 7 minutes ago, 7 or 8 minutes ago. So
yeah, good observation there, as we have Drea going through the parabolica. As we see, Death is just starting to pull from her pit box now, and she is on track now. So Drea will need to make up a lot of time, and he's got a car in front of him, unfortunately, and that is Tonkin. And Tonkin is definitely not going to make it easy for Drea here as they come into the first corner. You know, Drea really want to be getting ahead of Tonkin as soon as possible.
And this is exactly where they were when they pitted too, I think.
That's it.
Or were they the other way? No, Drea was in front actually, so Tonkin has actually ended up ahead here. So, although looks like Drea's going to go for the move, he's got the warmer tyres, late on the brakes. Might get up the inside. Although forces Tonkin wide. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to keep. They're both running the same car, so I'll keep getting confused.
Yeah, I think I just saw Tonkin was diving into the corner very early there, like just trying to kick up a little bit of curb just to get that extra little bit of turn in to make the corner. So Tonkin was definitely very deep on the brakes for the you know, cold brakes, cold tires. So yeah, definitely on the absolute limit there.
Well, big defensive maneuver.
And this is interesting. This is going to compromise Tonkin here through Ascari. Big lot of curb for the first part of Ascari.
Oh no!
Bit of a mistake there, and Drea is going to take full advantage of that, going right around Tonkin. Coming up to the parabolica, though, Tonkin will have the inside line, but we'll see him fall in line. Yes, he will.
I don't know how Tonkin hold on to that. I thought he was going to spit it into the fence there. The car looked like about 45 degrees at one point, I thought.
It did an excellent job
all over the place.
Exactly. It did an excellent job by just keeping it straight there. Like, all of these Ascari moments that they're having, we've got to see, we've only had, what, one that has gone around, and that was unfortunately, I believe, Steele.
That's right, yeah. Steele just getting really unfortunate. Is Steele still on track? Whether they end up parking it, I think they've
parked it.
Yeah, he's unfortunately parked it. It's important to finish the race if you can, because you still get points no matter where you finish, so.
Yeah, that's it. As we have, going up to the front, we have the remaining people to come in for a pit is Brown, Cooley, Cook, Fiaccarini, Fisher, and Paulie up there. So, yeah, the first of the drivers to have completed her mandatory pit stops. So, it is really anyone's game at the moment. Although we have the gap from Death to Real there was about 5.9 seconds. We will see as Fisher gets a drive through for, I'd say would that be track limits? Oh, unlucky. Yeah, as we see, Real is catching Death ever so slightly, but still they are 5.7 seconds back. So it takes a little bit of, will take not a little bit, quite a lot to even get even close to Sasha there.
Yeah, that's Sasha's just got to keep driving away. I think that's my bet. Sasha's just done this all season pretty much. It's been close at tracks, but yeah, when Sasha's in her element, she's untouchable. So it's a race for second. She's the pro-am that probably should have been pro. So
yeah, Yeah, exactly. As we see Fisher there, unfortunately, we don't really talk about the Milwaukee racing car much this race. Well, it's unfortunately for the wrong reason. A little bit of shot of Cooley there in second place. Back to Real, who is, I'm going to say it again, reeling in death here. So,
Try to, yeah.
yeah, trying to. Like, the gap was 5.2, now it's out to 5.8, so good job.
I want to see these two behind. They're looking pretty racy. Oh, actually, Duncan must have had a few mistakes here because Duncan has fallen way back.
Yeah, quite unfortunate.
Considering he's the fastest man on the track, that's quite a bit to lose in just a couple of laps to Drea.
Yeah, definitely has the pace, but the consistency is just lacking just a little bit, as we see chunks of curb taken at that final the final part of Ascari there, like, and they're just suspensions, the dampers absolutely taking a beating here.
And I was going to say these three McLarens are all doing the same thing. They're all just absolutely smashing the curb, a little bit of gravel, lots of curb. It's they're just absolutely abusing these poor things, trying to race for these last couple of podium positions. So Drea actually goes fastest, so Leo with the fastest time, 47.5.
Very interesting, as Drea is catching Real, and Real is catching Sasha.
Yeah, just by a little bit.
Just by a tiniest of margins, but you know, if Drea keeps up this pace, then there's possibly a fight for second place here.
Oh, for sure. We've got 16 and a half minutes left. It's plenty of time to do this, especially if he's going to keep pumping out the fastest laps. And well, that is very tidy. Look at that. So feeling in a bit of a groove here is Drought. I love watching these drivers on board. A little bit of understeer through there, and then power oversteer. Interesting, very neutral sort of setup then with that entry understeer, and then as soon as it gets on the gas, it just sort of swings the back around.
That's it. And if you check the splits again, only gaining by a tenth there, as we see, well, never mind, 4/10 in that sector alone, as Drea is on an absolute charge here, taking Ascari very confidently, and you know, just edging a little bit ever so closer to Real there.
Yeah, and this is looking very, very pacey. And Real's level pegging with Death out the front. So again, Real's definitely not going slow. I just can't get over how out of order the drivers are. I thought the wet would change them up a little bit as Tonkin goes faster than Drea. So Tonkin's now gone faster again. So they're all just deciding to pick up the pace. So tell you what, reminder, this is Sasha is out in the lead, is P1 in the championship. Leo is P3, P4 overall, and then Real is P9, and Tonkin is P17. So this track has just thrown them all over the place. This is unbelievable how mixed up this is. Oh, that was a bit deep there.
Very deep there, and it quite possibly has just lost a little bit of time going just that too deep going into the second chicane there. I've really got to get these names
I just called turn
names.
turn 4, turn 3.
Yeah.
I'm a race car driver. I always call it its number. I'm shocked when people like call it the nice fancy name, and I'm like, I used to call them by names, but then it changed 3 years in a row, and I'm like, not anymore. Because it'll be like Honda corner, and now it's Nissan corner, and it's like, why is it Nissan? Because there's the Nissan sign, not the Honda sign. You know, it's like, but things like Parabolica and stuff, usually that doesn't change because it'll be like a name of a street nearby or something like that. Sometimes that's the way.
That's it.
Sometimes they change name after drivers or something like that as well. yeah, this race between these two is going to be on until the end, I think. Dre seems to have really done a good last half of that lap, so if he hadn't made that mistake, I dare say that possibly would have been the fastest lap, and he'd be right on him now looking for a pass. But again, every little mistake you make ends up adding time to that clock of how much time you've got left.
That's it, and Drea's just got to look at the time remaining. He has still got 13 minutes left, so in my eyes, plenty of time to go for a move. He's just got to prepare himself, stay calm, keep it composed, and just pick his moment. There'll be one moment. There might be one moment, one shot, one opportunity. This is everything that you've ever wanted. Will you capture it, or just let it slip?
Yeah. Something, spaghetti.
I just had to quit Eminem there. There's a bit of a wiggle from both drivers there. Drea, the beneficiary out of that. As
have a look.
Or maybe
Gotta have a look. And the defensive line by Real. No. Oh, man, that is so close.
Inches away from the rear diffuser.
Oh!
Real then. Real had a Niscari moment. Once again, check that for another Niscari moment there for a driver as Drea takes net P2. Well, is P2, I should say, for this race. And now Real is under pressure all of a sudden, not from Drea anymore, but from Tonkin.
And Tonkin's the fastest man on track, so that's even scarier than Drea, I'd say.
Well, that's it. He's got a podium now to defend from, defending P2 to now just defending for his life, but just even a spray of champagne.
Yeah, all these drivers will be wanting it, as I'd say Drea is the only one that's finished on the podium this series, I'm thinking. Let me just double check that for you and I'll get back. Or do we have that ability? Do I have the ability more like it? Here's a replay.
Checking a replay here while you look for that info there on board with Real. And giant! That curb just absolutely sending Real there to the moon, having a very harsh landing. And I don't believe how did Real keep it in a straight line there?
My backside hurts. My backside hurts from watching that. There's a real life driver that hurts. You don't understand how many you don't understand how many G's that is into your bottom.
Into your tailbone. Your tailbone would absolutely be shattered after that. But, they're the skyward crashes. Sometimes those just send you to the moon. Like literally, the air gets under the car and your car starts flying. So that is very, very scary moment. You have a Mark Webber moment. Like he's had a couple of moments like that in his career.
He sure has. It's not a lot of fun, and I don't wish that upon my worst enemies. Those sorts of crashes. That's very scary.
That's it. A car that's supposed to be sucking you to the ground is all of a sudden now just lifting you up into the air and around and round and round, and quite possibly not onto your legs, or onto your wheels, I should say.
So that's just actually caught up to some lap traffic by the looks of it. We've got lap traffic happening, so hopefully that doesn't come into play. As this pack appears to be potentially congesting a little bit. I'd say Real has reeled in Drea, and Tonkin is flying along behind Real. So
all the while, Death is just extending the lead out there. It was 6 seconds at one stage. Now it's almost at 8 seconds. So you could say that don't want to put the curse on just yet, but Sasha's looking very good for a good result. So just yet.
No, I find it impossible because Death has literally won every single race. Set every single fastest lap. It's been amazing. So has 23 points from qualifying, which I believe would be the maximum points as well. So apart from tonight was the first time it got beat, and it was by 0.002 of a second. So
Yeah, that's just having an absolute Verstappen-esque performance in this series.
Yeah. And in the Ferrari.
He's there just saying 1.8 McLaren dings for that that incident with Real there. Just absolutely sending you to the moon.
Yeah. Oh man, this battle's getting closer and closer and closer. We're going to be on for it for the last few laps. This is exciting.
Yeah, it seems like there's just battles, well, the battle for the podium most definitely is absolutely on fire right now. As we're just having a look at the rest of the pack, and there doesn't seem to be any other cars that are within a second of each other. It's just these three, yeah, that are. Excellent, and well, the fastest cars, in a battle that's only heating up as the time ticks down.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a hot lap shootout between these three. They're just who can go the fastest is who's in lead, because as Glenn pointed out to us from the comms there, that these three are the fastest on track. So they're going faster than Sasha out the front at the moment. And they're closing up, so that means Tonkin's fastest on track. Real would be second fastest, and Drea would be third fastest. That is ridiculously fast.
I mean, Sasha's probably on cruise control right now, just focusing on bringing the car home. Like there's 7 minutes left in this race. leaving absolutely nothing on the table there. Just taking a little bit more gravel just out of that sandpit.
Between these three, the black line is just roughly where you're meant to go. They're using absolutely everything.
I mean, they're creating a new line there. They're just creating like a little wheel track on that very corner.
Yeah, that's like what, the fourth or fifth time I've seen someone touch the gravel, so it's clearly the fast way. Look at how close it's getting now. Like, it's even starting to think about defending is real. And this is on. We're going to get 3 or 4 laps of good racing here, hopefully.
This is absolutely on for young and old here. Well, we don't know. We don't know about the young and old from any of these guys, but it's heating up. As we have Real just getting very, very close and deep under brace. Drea now just have a little bit of a buffer, and it's going to make Real vulnerable to Tonkin as they go through the Lesmos. And it's just starting to even out just a little bit. There is a lap car in front. I believe that it's Fisher in the Milwaukee Ferrari there.
By the way, I was wrong. Sasha didn't win every single race. I totally forgot. At Mount Panorama, she had an absolute shocker. So.
Was it Cooley that won?
Piper won. Then Cooley came second.
Oh yeah, the Audi.
By 4/10. Yep. It was 4/10. So that was a very, very close race.
That was a close race. That was a good race to call.
Sasha has just been so much faster than every single time. Oh, and she finished second to McNeely at Valencia, so I was wrong about that too. But Sasha has just been looking like the one you always have to watch to beat.
Exactly. If she's not first, she's second. Just the absolute consistency. Well, except that little blip in her performance at Mount Panorama there it was only just a blip, as she's now back to her usual ways, just completely controlling the race right now.
And Mount Panorama did Mount Panorama things. That's what it does.
Well, we have a bit of a kerfuffle going on out Parabolic, at the end of Mascari there. I believe it was number 55, I believe it is. Johnston had a bit of a moment, and Cook decided to come in late there. We'll have to get a bit of a replay and see what happened there, but maybe just a little mistake, no harm done. And Johnston's just back on his way.
All right, Diebols has got the hot goss. He says it was Cook and Johnson. So Cook spun and Cook and Johnson spun. That is scary. Self-inflicted though. Okay.
Okay.
So one probably spun in sympathy, the other one. Which would be disappointing for Cook after that complete alternate strategy and was up a few positions and now back losing a few.
No, it definitely provided some entertainment, especially early on in the race with being the only taker on slicks, I believe.
That's right. And Will is looking mighty close here. Oh my goodness.
He's on the back of
last of the lace breakers.
That's it, and I was just looking at there. Dreyer is most likely struggling on his tires now, as remember he was one of the first takers for new tires, so you know those tires are about 27 minutes old, so definitely starting to get a little bit worn there. As Real trying around the outside, he's going to try a bit of a cutback now. As Dreyer defending extremely well, Tonkin just getting, roped into this battle, as Real is tucked in behind Dreyer there. Is that the Curva Grande?
Can't remember. I believe so. The right-hander. I think it even changed this year. I think it's just changed.
And there we go.
No.
George Cook, 10-second penalty. 10-second penalty straight away after that incident coming out of Ascari. So
there we go. And here comes the replay for it. So we're going to see what that's all about.
You can see was Cook just having a McLaren moment?
So yeah, this is Cook in front.
You see another coming
off the track.
Just
Okay.
completely spun on his own, and
someone else had a spin as well.
That was Johnston just joining in the party there, and we'll see the unsafe rejoin.
Oh, he's putting across the track. I don't like this.
Yeah.
I don't like this. Please don't be big. Please don't be big. That's scary.
Just forgetting to go half throttle in that moment, and maybe just a little bit of grass on the tires. So yeah,
that's just to pay. The 10 seconds is just to pay for the change of pants. Whoever that was, zip past. Oh, that was very close.
Let's have a mighty battle here as Real riding to the outside. Last lap of the race. Oh my goodness. Oh no,
they're off.
And then there's a huge incident there, and Real tapping the back of Dreyer, and that is going to give Tonkin a guaranteed podium. Is Dreyer going to get ahead of Tonkin here? He is just and now it's just up to Tonkin to maybe just see if he can make anything out of this, because Dreyer will definitely have a little bit of damage from that.
I was going to say, I don't know if Dreyer should keep that much of an advantage. Like, he did just gun it and go, but again, we'll leave it up to the stewards. He had a spin and then just gunned it. It has a massive gap on the driver that took the corner properly.
I mean, he was just kind of forced into a bit of a spin. That was kind of a little bit of a touch from Real there, and going into a braking zone like that is not ideal, especially when you're trying to arrest a lot of speed, going from pretty much top speed to around about 70 k's going through the first chicane. But as we go to the final lap,
so much.
For the final lap here, we still have a winner to call here.
There's a point on the left though. I want to watch this. It's got to be death. It's got to be death. We know, but is this car damaged enough?
Oh my goodness! Final lap.
Last corner.
The drift. Tonkin gets a little bit wide, and Dreyer will just have the legs to keep second place. Tonkin with a brilliant third though, getting on the podium, and so we cut down such death, and you got to feel for Real there.
Yeah, I mean, I will let the stewards decide whether anything needs to be done there. I feel like that. I can't replay it in my mind, so that was really tight.
Yeah.
This is going to shake up the leaderboard, the championship. That's what I'm going to say. There's so many drivers that are so much further forward than they normally would be. That is fantastic. So that'll be Tonkin's first podium, I believe.
Yeah, and
from P17 in the championship to winning the race, that is fantastic.
and honestly,
to finishing third. Sorry, not winning.
You're right. You're right. Yeah, I was gonna say, but I'll just let that slide. But yeah, Tonkin drove a very consistent race. Like, he was a little bit inconsistent at times. Would put the fastest lap out, and then make a little bit of a mistake. As we have a look at that incident going into turn one, final lap. And Real just having a look up the inside there and going into the braking zone. Yeah, Real just tapped
just
back
deep.
at Drea, and Tonkin had a little bit of a tap on Real there to send him around. And there it is, a 15-second time penalty for Mike Real there.
That's going to drop him back a fair bit.
That's it. And he's going to drop him back to, I'm guessing, around P8. Big penalty there from P4 to P8. That is a huge penalty. Oh no, P6. My bad. P6.
Yeah. Let's we'll look at the lead, the finishing thing, and then we'll go on a really short break, and then we'll be in with the pros. So it won't be long at all for that. But yeah, what a race. That was, what a last lap. Those guys provided a fantastic thing. Big shout out to Death for absolutely driving away and showing us all how it's done. Here's our little leaderboard. So it was Death, then Drea, then Tonkin, then Piper, who just kept their nose clean and has finished up in P4. And Real has dropped back to 6th, unfortunately, from leading the race at one point. But fantastic drive still, nonetheless. Those 3 McLarens really providing all the entertainment we need for days. And Brown finishing in the Porsche in P5, so that was a fantastic drive as well.
Yeah, and I mean, who do you give driver of the day to? Like, there's so many drivers in contention. Like, you could honestly say Tonkin from due to the form that he had coming into this round, just completely showing that that form is not a factor when it comes to track like Monza. And when you throw a little bit of variable weather in there, it just evens out the pack. And yeah, Tonkin's definitely a name up there.
Oh, for sure. So probably Tonkin or Brown. I mean, Death did drive perfectly, though. Death really did just drive a super nice race. Probably going to give it to Death. Anyway, let's throw it over to a quick break, and then we're going to get straight into qualifying, like within a minute or two. So we'll see everyone in chat soon. Quickly go fill up your drink bottles, and we'll see you in a few minutes. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the pro racing we've got tonight in the Simagic GT3 Cup, brought to you by Motorsport Australia. I always say Australian Motorsport. Motorsport Australia, powered by Octane Online Racing. And we've got Glenn pushing the buttons, myself, Justin, on the comms, and Daniel, aka Sconey. Scooney?
Yeah,
Sconey?
Yellow. Scooney.
Scooney?
Whatever.
Scooney.
Scooney, whatever. Or Scuzz, some people call me as well.
You sound like something I like to drink at the pub.
Schooners, yes. I've been called that a few times over my life. So, yeah, but welcome everybody. It's a pleasure to be here, and we are, with the conditions absolutely perfect right now for Monza. We are on track to see some absolutely sizzling times right now.
And, we're on board with Hobbs. Yeah, I was going to say Hobbo. Oh, he gets very squirmy there.
Yeah, just that middle part of Ascari was right out sideways, to quote Scafey there.
He actually even just gets out of it and lets Morello go by. Probably didn't count his lap. I think it was going to count, but yeah, let someone past to make sure that. Oh no, he's very wide again. Okay,
very wide again. Yeah, just letting Heine
going in
first and going straight into the pits.
I wonder if he damaged his car going over the curbs or something.
Possibly, as we just starting to get the first flying laps in, and already we're seeing a low 47 for the very first lap out, as we see now Pip just going, I believe that's a 46.5. Wow.
Yeah. 5 jets faster.
Straight out the box with a 46.5, like insane pace.
Yeah, unfortunately, Smith had to miss last weekend. That's right, and so is a little bit behind in the championship. It wasn't very, very close. Glenn, we've actually got steam over our thing. Thank you. So at the moment, we've got Pip, then we've got... Oh, I was going to take you through. We'll grab this in a second.
Run through the championship standings.
Oh yes.
While everything is going on, so I believe Pip is still P1 in the standings, and second, I believe it was.
Yeah. So there is the overall standings. Oh, hang on, I've clicked on the individual races. So we've had a number of different winners on all of the races. It's been a very tight series. So Pip is actually quite a bit ahead, and if she places well this weekend, she pretty much wraps up the Australian championship, as she is 229 points ahead of Zach Smith, because Zach missed last weekend. So yeah. Zach is still P2 to Pip. And we've got Dylan Tan leading the way for the internationals, followed by Rashmat, who actually won at Bathurst, I believe.
No, that was Pip.
Oh, no, that was Pip. Sorry, no, this is the week before. This is he won round 2. Rashmat won round 2. That's what it was. It's all blurring into one. This is what happens when you have a week off, and your brain, and you also get sick on that week off. So
that's it. Pip was P1, then it was Tan P2, and Morella P3 for Bathurst.
That's right, and it was a very close race.
It went right down to the wire. If you haven't watched that race already, guys, check it out. And if you really want to TLDR on that whole race, just skip to the very last lap. At around about the chase is where you're going to see a very pivotal moment in the race. Let's just say that. And the whole commentary team, myself included, were absolutely
Yeah, we
buzzing off
exploded.
that race.
As soon as you said that, I got the image back in my head of what happened.
Flashbacks.
Yeah, I got the flashbacks. Yeah, the Vietnam flashbacks that just popped in front of my eyes. So, that's how it happened in my eyes. It was such a good race, and then it tragically ended, but it also ended quite spectacularly as well. But that's, to me, that's Bathurst. That is how those races end. You know, like all the iconic races are incidences and drama-filled races, and that's what Bathurst ended up being that weekend.
Exactly, going right down to the last lap. You know, almost the last corner there, and as we see Pip just extending that lead out in front there, just by only a tenth there, only a 10th improvement. Still 7 minutes to go. Track is evolving just a little bit.
Sure is. Actually, these gaps have closed right up. So Pip setting that fastest lap, but then only improving by a couple of tenths. And Dylan Tan coming right up, much closer. Again, Pip was 5 tenths up the road, but it's closed right up. Look how competitive this class is. This is ridiculous. Mind you, I'm seeing a wall of McLarens though, with a BMW in the middle.
Yeah, with a BMW just sandwiched in between. But yeah, the top 5, even top 6 is separated by only 3/10 of a second. And I can guarantee you folks that all 6 drivers, or well, all drivers that are on track are most definitely improving.
Yeah,
we see, as I just say that, and Morella was 3/10 up, or almost 3/10 up on his lap, and has a few Lesmo moments. So, sorry to put the curse on.
That's all right. It is another qualifying, and he's a fair bit up there too. So here's Houlihan, who also missed last weekend, was racing with Zach Smith. That is definitely an invalid lap there. That's very invalid. It's and we're on now with Sang. Where is Sang in the championship?
Well, one of the international drivers here, so running in their own little mini championship right now. Yeah. I don't believe they ran last week though.
No, Chris Sang is actually 25th in the championship currently, missing a couple of rounds.
Yep.
It's really, really important when you're running championships to show up at every race weekend.
Exactly, and
look at the pace difference though. This is so tight. Yep.
Insane, and a lot of really good drivers around the bottom end of the pack there. You got Luka Biris, always, you know, taking Godzilla and putting it in places that it should not be, and Strenikov down there.
Yeah, Strelnikov's very quick. Yeah,
Strenikov down there.
I suppose Burrs hasn't done a lap yet, or Hobbs as well. Obviously, both invalidated their flying laps or just sitting in the pits, chilling.
And definitely got a Hignett down there as well. Rischuti as well, a winner in my split, taking that the alternate strategy for in taking the win here only 2 days ago. So Rischuti in red hot form here.
This is so close. Look how many. It's the whole field is spread by 2 seconds, and it's only a second down to 15th. and those front times are like hot lap special lap times. Like these very, very fast. Okay, here's Briss. Burr, sorry, I did it again. I do it every week. I have to do the first time wrong, and then it's right. So it's Burrs. It's Burrs. Here we go. So Burrs comes across the line, pops himself in the B20, and we'll start improving on that.
Yeah, it was only the first flying lap, so expect some improvement absolutely from Burst there, as Pip now only just under 2/10 faster on this lap, and losing just a tiny bit of time through the Parabolica. Has been relegated just now down to P2, but she takes P1 and is only 1/100th of a second faster than Tan there. So Tan backing up his good form that he had at Bathurst, with, you know, pretty much being almost dead even with the points leader.
Yeah, and the thing about what we're seeing here is like Dylan Tan is an absolute superstar, and so is Bakita. Like these two are two of the fastest drivers on the planet in this game. We get to witness them going head to head, which is absolutely fantastic. You know, and everyone else in here is ridiculously fast as well. But these two are just aliens, is the term we have at OR. They are from another planet and they're driving spaceships. It is crazy.
It's almost like we're privileged to have them at in prime time viewing for for Australian standards anyway. Like usually they'd be racing in other leagues across the globe, and we'd have to either get up 6 a.m. or have a race at midnight or whatever. But here they are, prime time viewing for Australia. So
10's up, so 10, if they could just keep this gap through the last corner, this will be it. And this is the track that I think the BMW actually stands a chance, because again, the BMW is exceptionally fast in Paul Ricard, and this track's a lot like Paul Ricard with the big long straights and a couple of long sweeping corners. Does he go pole? He does.
Yeah, just a little bit though. We'll have to see what Pip's doing, because she has always got a few tricks up her sleeve. As with only a minute and 20 to go, it's not much time for Pip to improve, as Tan just getting a little bit more time out of that first chicane there. So this is going to go down to the wire, folks.
And Pip's up as well. Okay.
Watch this space. That's all I'm going to say. For everyone else, they're going to have to find a lot of time, as the closest challenger is 3/10 behind in Ryan Houlihan. So I'm guessing Houlihan is, just yet to set an optimal lap time right now, as he is also, very, very quick.
Ooh, that was someone shooting straight off. Oh, that's distracted Pip. Pip's gone off. Is that still valid lap though? It is. Wow. So Pip actually dropped some wheels on the grass there, and it's still a valid lap. She's over a 10th up as well.
That's it. She's still up, and all
Dylan's invalidated.
Just invalidated, so it's all up to Pip now. Only a 10 up, and a bit of a bad exit coming out of Ascari there. It is all up to the Parabolica. Can she stick it? Brake nicely, turn in nicely. We'll see if that McLaren is well behaved through the Parabolica. It looks like it is. It's going to be a bit of a drag race.
She's driving the tight line. Oh, she goes in.
She goes in. She was not going to improve. And
she'll be so disappointed. She was up by nearly 2/10 there. Exactly. And here's Houlihan in P2. Wow, Houlihan's in P2 and up as well. So Houlihan's found more.
Just a little bit, and just a little bit of a curve there as he backs out of it, and
still
new. Samuel on a decent lap here. Decent improvement, almost a 2/10 improvement coming up to the line. That is going to put him in P4 for the moment. And very nice lap getting onto the second row of the grid.
This is big.
Big, from Morella here in another McLaren. What a surprise. Shocker. At a track like Monza. Now it's just got to stick Ascari, and a lap can be made or broken through Ascari. A very, very nice through Ascari, but just a little bit compromised on exit, but still a very, very decent lap. 2/10 up coming into the Parabolica, as getting on the brakes, braking in a nice straight line, keeping it relatively tight to the inside of the Parabolica, coming to the line, using all the track and more, and it is going to be P4, just pipping Samuel for that second row of the grid, and Strednikov taking P10.
Look at that split. That is so tight between all these drivers. My goodness. I I can't get over how close that was. It felt like just about anyone could have got pole there in that top 5 because drivers that we just saw, whoever it was that just finished P4 there, lose about 2/10 on the exit of that corner, and 2/10 was the gap to pole. So unbelievable. I just can't believe how many drivers could have possibly been on pole, but Dylan Tan is the one that puts the lap together and ends up on pole, beats the McLaren, the favorite car here. So well done to him. Fantastic drive. We've got Pip, everyone's favorite Australian. Yeah, I'll just say that because I'm biased. In P2, then Houlihan on P3, Morella on P4, Samuel on P5, Smith P6, Sang on, who's actually this is P2 for international, so P7 overall. Rashmat in P8, Sweet in P9, and Strelnikov in P10. Is there any chance?
Yeah, sorry.
I was going to say, is there any chance we can have a quick look at the gaps? I want to see how close that was again between all the drivers. If we've got the ability to see that as just before. If we can't, that's fine. We'll do the fly down the pit lane and look at everyone's. It's all good. I'm
just having a look at the spread of manufacturers here, and definitely the McLarens locking out P2 to P7. So definitely a favorite car amongst not only the fast guys, but definitely to this track, as we finally see Lamborghini there. Rashmat breaking up the McLaren onslaught, and then it's just an onslaught of Ferraris there. Hindy bringing up the rear of that. We got Kale there, who was also very competitive in Split Blue, I believe it was. Cook ran well in Split Blue as well. Gallo ran well in Split Yellow, I believe it is. Then we got Ty running nicely there. Hobbs, who was one of the first drivers that we were on board with for this session in P17. Taylor in P18. Torfig, I was expecting a little bit more from Torfig. Only down in P19, but watch out for him. He's very, very quick. And Burst there, P20. Unfortunately, didn't extract as much speed as he would have wanted in that Nissan, mind you, up against a whole bunch of you could say meta cars right there. Rashudi in P21, the winner from Split Blue, and Higner in P22, and Gibbons rounding out the grid as we go to the formation lap.
I just want to point out that Burrs in P20 is only 1.2 seconds off pole.
That's so insanity.
So 1.2 seconds was the gap between P20 and pole. There is a number of cars that are within, like every single tenth of a second, there's multiple cars almost the whole way down. So if you made a small little mistake, you were multiple positions worse off. There's unbelievable qualifying there by everyone.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to this race. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, kind of reminds me of Simmons Plains and Barbagello in the supercars. Like, they're literally lap times under a minute there, and the whole field, the entire field is separated by a second and a few more, like a little bit more. So that's the entire field. So make one little mistake, can't get your lap together, and you're starting at the back.
Yes, we've got everyone doing their warm-up lap now, trying to get those brakes and tyres nice and warm. All these guys and girls know exactly how to do that.
Yep, they've been through it many a times before with they all have their own methods of tire and brake warm-ups. So yeah, it's kind of interesting to see how many takers we have of the the traditional swerving back and forth with the tires, or if they're just riding the brakes, getting that core temperature, that core tire temperature up. As we see, yeah, we can definitely see Pip doing that, just slightly riding the brakes, getting a bit of core temperature into those tires.
Yeah, the general gist is you want to spend at least the first half a lap getting your brakes hot so that you get some saturation into your tires, and then you can do a little bit of weaving to get the skin of the tire hot. That is what you would be doing in real life. And I believe the game simulates that quite well. So yeah, you want to make sure that you're warming up the core of the tire and your brakes first, and then again that'll sort of make the tire pressure come up to where it needs to come up to a bit quicker than just skidding the surface around. And you can overheat the surface of the tire trying to warm it up as well. That's something you've always got to watch out for. So look at this formation. This is very tight.
Very tight. Do you want to take us away, Justin?
I sure do, actually. This is going to be exciting. This is going to be very, very tight and scary. Hopefully everyone can make it through, because if you've ever played up Monza, it is an absolute nightmare. So hopefully these guys and girls can do it nice and cleanly. Oh, look at those 3 AVR cars in 4, 5 and 6, in 3, 4 and 5. Here we go. So nice formation by everyone so far. Looks pretty clean. Got to keep the cars steady, and we're going to go green any second now. Green, away we go. Pretty even jump so far across the front rows, although we've got a look down the inside from, looks like Houlihan looking down the inside, trying to take a lead. 2 wheels on the grass up the inside of Tan. Big dive up the inside, goes straight into the lead. Will he overshoot? He goes a little bit wide and stops Makita, and then gets a little bump. Oh no, all 3 AVR cars pile into each other.
Traffic jam.
This is going to be a safety car. This is safety.
Yeah. Straight away, we just, no hesitation there from the managers there, as we have. Was that Ferrari there just taking a little bit of an alternate route through turn 1 there, but it was an absolute car park going through that first chicane.
So Houlihan did an absolute to the limit send, but had to pretty much park the bus to make the corner, and that just caused a chain reaction of a nose to tail bumping, which is what happens when that sort of move happens. Again, it was as deep as you could go by Houlihan, and he's had to stop the car to be able to make it rotate so he wouldn't fly off the track, and unfortunately copped a little bit of a touch. And Tan's driven a perfect line, but the little touch has unsettled Houlihan into the side of Tan, and they've all run wide, and Pips ended up better off from it. So again, this is another, I don't envy the stewards here. It could just be deemed a bit of a racing incident, but I dare say there might be some little penalties getting handed out there. There wasn't anything too big. It's just Monza things. You get caught in that little, if someone has a spin or goes a bit slower than expected, everyone just piles into each other. When especially when margins are this close, every position is going to be worth its weight in gold. By the way, Lucas Perez is currently in P13, so I've made 7 positions. So I'd say just avoiding the incident and jumping up a long way. So Strelnikov seems to have come off worse for wear, all the way down to P22, who was up in the top. Was 10th, right?
10th, yes. Yeah. Started 10th there. Another big mover there is Samuel as well, who we're on board with now. Shady Samuel, I believe, started P5, with number 5 starting P5. And right, making the, just avoiding the turn 1 chaos there to take advantage and go to P2.
So,
same with, sorry.
I was going to say, Sweet and Morella are the 2 that have lost a fair bit here. They've gone back a number of positions. They're all the way down in P7 and 8, considering they were P3, 4 and 5. So they were, the AVR cars all sort of piled into each other a bit there. So Houlihan was in the lead for 1 corner, but now back in P4 as we're about to be released from the safety car here. Pip is going to hold steady until she wants to go, and when she goes, everyone else will go with her. And we'll just wait for that.
A little bit of overlap there happening. Yeah, a little bit of overlap there happening with Houlihan on Tan there, and as Pip gets a brilliant start, brilliant restart. Samuel is immediately under pressure from Dylan Tan there. Tan having a big look up the inside. Is going to be extremely racy going into the first corner. They both brake extremely late. Tan will absolutely send it and will get the move done. As we see everyone's just behaving nicely there. Big move there from Kale, I believe, going up the inside of, is that Shrenikov?
Yeah, Kale up Shrenikov, yes. And Tan is now in P2, and Samuel is under all sorts of pressure. Oh, Samuel, no, little bit too late on the brake, gives a little bit of a touch to Tan, but Tan corrects the car, catches the slide, keeps the position.
Yeah, Houlihan were checked up just a little bit there and put him under pressure from Sang, who had a little bit of a look going into the first Lesmo, but thought better of it.
And Sweet is actually a long way up in P6 now from his P9 start, so really good start there by Corey Sweet. And Shady Samuel, again, fighting for the championship positions here too, actually, because Shady Samuel is currently P3 in the Australian Championship, so P4 overall, and ahead just behind Zachary Smith, so wants to finish ahead of Zachary Smith. And that Zachary Smith is someone that's very, very hard to stay ahead of, and he's got his teammate of Houlihan right behind him. Zach's teammate, that is. Who will be looking to help him out, as we've actually got fastest lap set by Pip, and it looks like Sang is having a look up the inside of Houlihan, although he's filed back in.
File back in and just having a little bit of a peak going into turn one there. Houlihan brakes extremely late for the chicane there, just pulls it up, gets a worse exit off because of it. Sang now filling the mirrors of Houlihan there, and yeah, just looking left, darting left, darting right, trying to find something, some sort of a gap. Finds on the outside, but Houlihan shuts the door, and it is as they were.
Houlihan has a masterclass of how to position the car and not let someone pass. He knew he had a bad exit off there, and it just looked like Sang couldn't decide where to go, but that was because Houlihan was just always that half a car left or right of where Sang thought he was going to go. Sang's like, okay, I'll go left. Oh wait, you're going left. Oh, I'm going to go right. Oh wait, you haven't gone right. You know, because it's a corner. He's just, I'm taking this line, and I'm just going to move a little bit here. And it's just absolutely perfect. It looked like weaving on a straight, but when you're going around a corner, just positioning the car a little bit to the left or a little bit to the right. Made so everyone's biting that gravel. Obviously, that is the line to do, as we saw from the pro-ams as well.
They're gonna lay some rubber down on that little corner there. I swear there's gonna be no gravel left. They're gonna create a little trench there of rubber, as we see Sang still putting the pressure down again. Another flat from Bakita there. Track is up in 46.4. I believe that was around her qualifying time, which is absolutely crazy to think that. But as we see Rashmat here having a look on Sweet, thinks better of it, as yeah, it just seems everyone's well behaved this time going into the first chicane.
Ooh. Is that someone dropping some places, or is that?
I think it was Smith.
Morella just came out of the pits. No?
No, I think that might be Zachary Smith, because looking on the Delta, it's saying he's 1 second behind, and judging by that gap, it does look like it's 1 second behind. So, yeah, it's all good. Just Zachary Smith, just...
It's hard when they paint all their cars the same colour.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yes. So Morella has pitted. That is something that is important to point out. That
yeah, exactly. Interesting to point out that Raschuti and Morella did pit under the safety car. So under the like just when the safety car was just peeling in. So
they did, and Hines and Gibson has as well. So Gibbons, sorry.
So yeah, that could be huge. A huge play. So Raschuti definitely taking a page out of his book that he used, the tactic that he used in Split, green to win it really. And
Pip just going faster. Oh, and Tan goes faster again, though.
Tan pips Pip. So, yeah, it's heating up at the top end of town here.
Now Zach's going in as well. Okay, so some really early pit stops here by the ABR drivers. Obviously running a different sort of strategy, or just trying to get some clean air. There's probably a bit of column A, a bit of column B. It's a different strategy, but also just get that clear air.
Get some out of sync. Yeah, just get some out of sync, and then a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know, you got yourself a your own alternate strategy, and we'll see how that pans out.
Yeah, there could be a little bit of damage too, because remember that a whole bunch of them came together in the first lap, so possibly wanting to clear that damage. The earlier you clear it, the more it benefits you. You know, if you've got some wing damage, you don't want to carry it for 50 minutes.
Exactly, especially since there is a lot of straights here, and that straight line speed will be tanking hard with all that damage.
That's very true. And we'll see where Zach Smith comes out, whether he's ahead of his teammates. Looks like he's just behind someone that shot past him. I'm just watching the track map, trying to keep track of that at the same time. All hands speeding along. And Samuel's really pulled out the pace today. Absolutely flying here in P3. He's following the, oh my goodness, a 6 flat, and Pip answers back to Tan, says, no, sorry, you can't have the fastest lap. I'm just going to go faster again. It's their ability to just go faster and faster as the fuel just comes out of the car and just keep getting faster and keep getting faster.
Well, I would love to see a replay of the start here. So here we go. This is going to be a bit to unpack here, let's just say that.
So we might need like 10 replays of the start. So it's Houlihan going deep, like I said, parks it and gets the nudge, unfortunately, which then creates a concertina, and then the tail end just trips over each other because of how slow it had to be. Someone just appeared to avoid turn 1 and just annihilate everything. So somehow it's this how slow Houlihan has to go to make the corner that causes Pip to run into it, into the back of him. I almost don't blame Pip there, because it looked like Houlihan was just going to shortcut turn 2. That's what it looked like. He's got grass on his tyres. He's broken super late. Dylan did a perfect job to do that switchback, realising, but then got drilled in the side. So a bit unfortunate for Dylan there.
I will say, I'm just watching the Porsche in the back. I believe that's Brad Cook, and he just absolutely just kept it on the inside and passed like 6 cars coming out of turn 2. So if we just take a closer look, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there's Kale just coming in a little bit late there, just a little late loop there, and Cook absolutely man of the match there from that turn 1 kerfuffle there, and he sits now in P10, so holding down a top 10 position here for a track that's not that nice to the Porsche.
Yeah, that's very true. And Cook was qualified P14, so there's only up a few, and there's a few of the leaders that have actually pitted, so actually possibly have lost a few positions now, dropping back down, although Burrs is so far forward that is not funny. P9. How are you P9?
From P20 on the grid. So, it's a mega start from Burrs.
Peach says, how do the stewards interpret that cluster? I don't know. You just sort of go, well, it kind of all looks like a bit of a racing, if you ask me, because everyone's just it's a little bit of bumping. Like, everyone bumped everyone a little bit, and some people spun, and one person spun by themselves. So it's like, for the jokes, you should penalise the person that spun by themselves. No, don't do that.
Skill issue.
I'll start my own league with you just like spin a wheel and that's the penalty you get.
Yeah, you just you put a bit of a flat spot on the tire. Nah, you're getting sent to jail.
Everyone goes in the safety car or whatever, and you sit there and you spin a wheel, and it like is a big show of it, and then it's like where it lands is what penalty you get. It's like, okay, now we continue racing.
You sit in the corner and think about what you've done.
Very good. Alrighty, so we're on board with Sweet, looking back at Rashmart there in the Lamborghini, and Sweet's got to be quite happy with where they are on the track at the moment.
I'm just reading the chat again from P. Stewart. It's just like, well, that was quite the oopsie. Anyway, moving on.
Kale gets a penalty for collision on lap 3. Oh yes, that was the turn 3-4 incident that we saw.
Yes.
Yeah, so the way that Stewart's dealt with turn 1 is they just took a shot of whiskey and continued.
They were just like, they just saw all those incidents, all those, for sure, all the drivers would have been calling car number after car number after car number, and they just hit mute.
Yeah.
Nah, we're good.
Okay.
Down to the Porsche, there we go.
Yeah, back on board.
Please.
Here we go.
There we go. Oh, that's
I'm glad
the
he's
ASMR of the years.
He just was teasing us there for a little bit.
That's it. Just
I actually thought about starting a motorsport channel ASMR. Just finding all the best sounding cars and just putting them on like an ASMR thing. Because people would love that.
Yeah.
I reckon there would be car people that would love that.
100%. It's like just 10 hours of Porsche 992 GT, the GT3 car sounds for 10 hours.
And then have the limiter bashing compilation, and then the turbo blower valve compilation, and like you can make it. I reckon someone out there should do that. I'm too lazy to. But
Oh yeah, just have the AU Intec on Limi for 10 hours.
the
Here we
Porsche
go.
out of car, it can potentially pass.
Well, there we go. As we see a little bit of a look coming into the first chicane, Burrs is forced to go a little bit wide. That might make him vulnerable coming out of turn 2, and by the looks of things,
Got the power down nicely.
that's it. And Cook was just a little bit squirrely coming out of turn 2. Maybe was not expecting to be, bit grip limited coming out of turn 2. We've seen that Porsche get the power down very nicely in a lot of in just the last race actually.
And Hobbs is a bit of a mover and shaker as well, by the way, because Hobbs was P17, so Hobbs up in P10. That's pretty decent. Although, again, there are a few cars that have pitted now, so there are cars that have chosen to be out of position. Morella must have had a fair bit of damage because Morella is actually quite a bit behind where Zach Smith has come out. And Hind is right behind Zach Smith as well. And Koza is ahead of Zach Smith? Wow. So obviously Zach Smith had some damage as well. But I'd say Morella had a fair bit of damage because they are like, yeah. They were one spot behind Zach Smith and now they're 11 seconds behind. So that's a big difference.
Absolutely. We're just getting a few more insider information here. Corey Sweet from chat here going with the no practice strat. So the zero practice strat. So it's working very well for him. P6. Basically holding station from pretty much where he started, really.
P9 he started, so
P9.
he's
So
up a little
yeah,
bit.
definitely holding his own. Yeah, giving the Tifosi a little bit of a show because he's the leading Ferrari right now.
We'll start to see lots of cars pitting now, so let's keep an eye out for that. As I say that, there's Hobbs, Hignett, and Tafiq in the pits, and Rashma as well.
It'll be interesting to see when the top 3 or top 4 even decide to come into pit, because that will decide undercuts, overcuts, big wide movement there for Sang, I believe. But yeah, that's, as we've seen from the last split, the last race, going wide there is, it's almost become part of the track. So especially here as well, as we see, do we see a little bit of dust here? No, we do not. Oh, never mind.
We went there. There's so many little spots to kick up dust on this track, and these drivers seem to kick it up everywhere, just hanging half a wheel off the edge of the track everywhere they can.
And I mean, you can't say they're not using all the track. They mean, they paid for the track, so they're using all every single inch of it.
That's right, and this gap out front has sort of stabilized at around 2 seconds. Hasn't really adjusted too much. I'm really, really impressed by Shady Samuel in third place, keeping up with these two at the front, because like I said, these two up the front have done a little bit of walking away from the field when they've got the opportunity to at most races, but this weekend this is definitely not what's happening here. So Samuel's definitely wanting to hang on to that P3 in the championship, if not P2, because of where Zach Smith getting caught up in that turn 1 incident. We'll see how things shake out though. Again, no one's, this front bunch, I'm surprised no one's pitted yet, but I feel the overcut always seems to be more powerful than the undercut, so everyone wanting to go absolutely till they're out of fuel. And your car's just faster when you got no fuel in it. So
exactly.
Man, they're all going wide. Houlihan's applying the blowtorch to Samuel here, though.
Exactly. And yeah, the overcut is most definitely effective here, especially when you're in a bit of a sprint race here. So like, excuse me, there's mandatory two pit stops required. So the tires really only going on for like about 20 minutes or so, and then they're off the car. So you have the opportunity to overcut. The opportunity to, the strat to overcut is a very, very good one. As
here we go, they're going in.
Here we go.
Oh, they were gonna. He was thinking of going different. Probably looked at his. Oh, I thought, no way. He pressed the disconnect button, not the not the pit lane limit up. But he's
just a little bit of a blink.
That's okay.
Yeah, a bit of an iRacing blink. Oh, another iRacing blink.
So we've got Pip, we've got Samuel, and we've got Houlihan all in the pits. So this is P1, 3, and 4 that we're on track. So Tan is going to go for the overcut, going to try and push out a really fast lap. Again, pitting is so crucial at this level, because if you miss your pit box by a tiny bit and you get shifted, it costs you about 3 to 5 seconds. So it's absolutely crucial that you nail that pit box perfectly, because up the front here, that is a position or two.
Exactly, especially with how tight the top 4 was. Like, all of them separated by maybe 3-4 seconds each. So as we have Pip just exiting out of the pits there, she is in P7 with a nice bit of track around her. So yeah, it's it's just steady as she goes from here.
I want to see what the gap is to the car behind her. It doesn't look that big, so there's going to be, it's going to be tight, I think. I'm trying to think who that is. We'll see when we... Shady, is it? Yeah, number 5. Yeah, that is Shady behind her. So that was 3.99. So Shady actually possibly pulled that in a tiny bit. Although it's 4.5 now.
4.5 now, yeah.
Pip is just an absolute beast on those cold tires. So she knows the importance of firing them up straight away.
Exactly. She's just an absolute machine.
And Houlihan lost 3 seconds in that pit stop, so possibly repairing some damage or missed the pit box, like I mentioned. And everyone else is pitting now, except for Tan.
And go for a 2-lap overcut. So yeah, very, very interesting strategy here from Tan. So opting to running long on that first stint to make the 2 last stints a little bit shorter, just a little bit shorter.
Yeah, and gonna absolutely send it. Just do qualifying and a half worth of lap times, sort of thing. Oh yes, as he uses the track and some again, using that brown line that we were talking about.
That's it. They're just, as I said, they're just, scooping out all the sand out of that and just laying down some rubber.
That's the way, and absolutely using all the curb there, and a little bit of gravel,
and that little gravel patch,
and that little bit of grass there. just using all the track, and then coming in the pits.
As we see, I believe 10 will be coming into the pits at the end of this lap, going through the parabolic, and now, turning into the pit lane there, getting it stopped very nicely. Like, these guys would have most definitely practiced their pit entries here. So
that was impressive if it wasn't practice, because that just stopped perfectly. That was fantastic.
So we see Bakita is just coming out of Lesmo too, so there is a little bit of a gap. So
it's a long pit stop. It's 30 seconds. The city's still changing both tires.
That's it, and they were about a second away from each other, I'd say. So the possibility that 10 overcut just a little bit, and so.
Oh, and while we've been watching, the Sang's just passed Houlihan. Thanks for pointing that out, Peach. So Sang looking very, very quick, getting past Houlihan. So Houlihan obviously, again, repairing that damage in the pits, I'd say. Here we go. So I dare say we're going to see Pip end out in front. I doubt Ken was able to do it, but he's ahead as he hits the track. But Pip's going past at like 300 k's an hour, and ends up in the lead.
There we go, and Pip retakes the lead.
Gap is closer though. That is much closer than it was before. But again, he's got to fire these tires up,
and he has to do it as soon as possible, as Pip is on track, I'd say, to be at her optimum pressures or optimum temperatures, and Tan is just out there on cold brakes, cold tires. So really needs to put the hammer down if he has any chance of catching Pip right now.
Yeah, and it's 1.2, so he has gained right now, because it was 1.9, so he's gained 7/10. But again, he's probably going to lose another half a second this lap, I'd say, as the tires come on up. So pretty even, Stevens, and it's actually Shady Samuels that's lost a bit of time on these leaders. So these front two just showing where they got their time. It's in the pit stops and on that cold tire attack at the start. We did see that gap expand quite quickly. As we're on board with Rush Map now.
In a very tight battle here with Corey Sweet here. On that note, it's zero practice strat here, as all of them taking, that wide line coming out of Scari there. We've been talking about it, all race, and they're just splitting every little bit there. Coming from the Parabolica, Sweet just a little bit wide, taking a little bit more track, possibly getting a bit of using more track, so getting a little bit more speed, more straight line speed down this straight here.
I think that was more Rush, Matt, just getting crossed up and catching the slide, ending up on the inside. The back really stood out on that Lambo. It's in this Ferrari sandwich, and looking very racy though at the same time, using all the track again. Happy to go over the curb and onto the green AstroTurfy curb on the outside of that. So
that's it, just this Lamborghini stuck in between this very expensive Ferrari sandwich, as we have going through the second chicane here, and still just glued to that rear wing. Even Stevens, both of them coming out of that corner going into the first Lesmo, and yeah, just just waiting for one driver to make a mistake, and we'll pounce, and there it is. Maybe a little bit of a peak open for Rashmat there as he's tucked in behind, coming into a scurry. We've seen him move at a scurry before, and I think he's going to think better of it. Yes, he is, and Rashmat doing the smart thing and not going too wide into a scurry.
They're using the gravel in the exit.
Exactly. I mean, that's pretty much the track. That's pretty much part of the track anyway, and it has cost him a little bit of time here as Koza is closing up to Rashmat. That was really bad. I'm sorry. It's going through
Koza, not Koza.
Koza.
Yeah.
Yeah. Koza closing up Rashmat. But anyways, it didn't happen, and just even Steven.
They stay where they are for now, but this battle is definitely going to be going on for a while, I think. I'm not sure if Rashmat is a lot faster than Sweet. Might be a little bit, and if the no practice strat is true for Sweet, I'd say Sweet's just going to keep getting faster as they get their eye in.
Exactly.
We are halfway.
Yeah, just having a word from the chat there. There's a big battle pack happening for P11 right now. If we cut to that, Hindy, Cook, Hobbs, and Ty all duking it out for, well, it's P11. Just outside the top 10. Unfortunately, if this was a battle for 10th place, this would be have a lot more weight to it. But P11's still an amazing result for pretty much the top split of ACC racing in Australia.
It's not F1. You get points all the way down the board, so it doesn't really matter. It's everyone remembers the F1 mindset of, well, you got to get that point right, P10, but they're getting points, so they are battling, and it is worth it.
Exactly. But big battle pack, and I'm just noticing there that Morella is the first of all the drivers to take their final pit stop. And big moment there for Ty, taking a lot of move there. And as we see, Cook was a little bit gingerly coming out of a scurry, and he's forcing himself to defend from Hobbs, who gets a decent enough exit, and that straight line speed of the Ferrari also being tucked up in the slipstream is going to be a bit of a detriment for Cook there. Round the outside, coming into turn 1 there for Hobbs. Cook is going to have to pull something out of the bag to keep this position, as they are even, and Cook just later on the brakes, and very well defended from Cook.
Great exit as well.
Exactly. Oh, that is very good. And Hobbs seems to be now under pressure from Ty. So now the hunter has now become the hunted for Hobbs, and yeah, he's going to have something to think about.
Yeah, this poor German car is getting bullied by all the Italian cars around it. There's so many Italian cars surrounding him. He doesn't know what to do.
Yeah, it's kind of sad that the only other German car is it's just
not even in the rules.
Yeah. Oh no.
That is so fast. Yeah, sorry.
But
I was thinking the Mercedes, but it's yeah, it's that's not. No one picked that.
Oh, the Mercedes and the Audi. Yeah, there's no Audis in this split actually, and no Mercedes.
No.
So very surprising.
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't see a couple of Mercedes. There was a number of drivers that swore that they were pretty quick, but it appears to be the Macca was the faster version of the Mercedes.
And the slightly more stable one, as we see a big move coming into the Parabolica here. I believe that is Smith on Koza, and gets it done, but Koza will just slot straight into the pits. Okay, I thought he was going to go and get a bit of slipstream off of Smith there, but Koza has just said, I've had enough of these tyres, and I will get a fresh set of boots, and hopefully the undercut will work in my favour.
Yeah, so Smith's still recovering from that.
Okay.
That first lap incident, and going a little bit too deep there and losing some time, but that's okay. He'll recover. I reckon Zach's got to try and get on for near the top 5 again. As Morella would be hoping to get somewhere near that as well. Probably top 10 from Morella would be happy as a comeback, because there was a lot of damage on that car after turn 1. So Sweet now still it has actually been passed by Rushmart, because it was Sweet ahead of Rushmart before. So Sweet trying to hang on with Rushmart, as it's a big 10-second gap to Houlihan from these cars. So, and Houlihan's just got past Sang as well, so had a little move in the pack ahead.
Absolutely, and it looks like a podium is quite possibly on the cards for Houlihan. If he can keep up this pace, that 4-second gap will turn into virtually, well, pretty much nothing by the end of it. So yeah, keep up this pace, Houli, and you will have a podium right in your space. As we see Ty, I believe, taking a bit more sand there than gravel there, I should say, than he originally planned, and now all of a sudden Gallo looks to be looking for a move, but yeah, the straight line speed is just non-existent for these Porsches right now.
Yeah, that Lambo's pretty quick in a straight line, although the Lodge House Racing livery car looks to be going pretty quick in a straight line, although again this is in the tow, and the guy did just dirty his tyres the quarter before, so probably didn't get the best run onto the straight. But Gallo's definitely got to try as hard as he can to get past Sebum Ty, but again, Sebum Ty's pretty seasoned at this point in his OR racing series.
Simagic GT Cup presented by Motorsport Australia Esports. As we now cut to Hindy, who's had I think he's had a bit of an error here. Or hang on, no, it's someone must have pitted as Hindy, a big snap of oversteer. That's going to leave Cook the door wide open to come take P10 on the road. So Hindy having a lot of trouble with the first Lesmo there, getting a big slide on, and that just leads Cook to say thank you very much. I will take that top 10.
Yeah, great job by Cook there to avoid that. It could have ended up real nasty. Quite often those half losers end up being someone plows into you because they just drive the normal racing line. They're like, why are you going slow? And drive right inside you. But these guys are far too good to end up in one of those ones, and perfect driving to get the free position. So
that's it. And all these drivers would have had experiences where the front driver has just had that little bit of a lose, and they know where the car's going to be placed. As we see Hindy, yeah, he's definitely had enough
throws it in the pits,
so it just throws it into the pits.
That's a lot of damage on the front of that car too, by the looks of it.
Yeah, so the straight line speed will definitely be suffering there. As we cut to Pip here, not making that much of a gap on Dylan Tan. So Tan just keeping himself steady, keeping himself in with a chance.
Are they? Yeah, they're lapped cars. That's what we're seeing there. So they're the people that are pitted, and some of them have fallen back into the clutches of these two because they're just that fast. It's unbelievably how fast they're going.
That's it.
And the gap has not changed in the last,
in 20 minutes. So
I was going to say 20 minutes really. So it was a little bit tighter, but Pip's pulled it out a couple of tenths. But really, the 1.9 is what it was last pit stop, and they're starting to think about doing their next pit stop again. So really, that hasn't changed.
Yeah, it's just a matter of who blinks first. As we have a yellow flag, as someone has just gone straight to the pits.
Oh, and Hines just taken a penalty for pit lane speed limit. That he'll be very disappointed with that.
Yeah, as I think we see Ethan Cale there just exit the server and must have had a moment coming out of a Ascari, and it's just race done.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
disappointing.
I just saw him like teleport to pits, and he's just had a. He was just like, no, it's not worth fighting for. It happens.
Probably another airborne over the curb.
That's it. Just sent to the moon, and then just basically launched himself straight conveniently into his pit box. So,
Yeah, that's right.
possible.
Alrighty, so Houlihan and Sang still having a little bit of a battle. Sang more like trying to hang on to the back of Houlihan, who seems to be a little bit pacier in the 999. Houlihan again trying to make up for the little mistake he made in turn 1, which created the chaos. But yeah, it's going to be an uphill battle to catch Shady out in front, because Shady has actually pulled that gap. Oh no, it's 3 seconds now, 3.7. So he has actually closed it up. Yeah, so he's pulled in 3/10 over the last like 5 or 10 minutes. So this is that's probably not happening unless Shady makes a mistake. But again, Houlihan, we'll see what Houlihan has up his sleeve. He's a wily old fox. He's very, very smart driver, and I'm sure he's going to do some nice, consistent, quick lap times here for us. Here's a replay.
I'm guessing this is Kale, who's just minding his own business here, so no one else around. Oh, there's a few cars in front, but he comes through the second part of Ascari. Maybe takes a little bit too much speed there, and there's the bounce, and a big lose there. Puts it straight into the fence.
Good job getting off the track, yeah.
Yeah, ends up getting off the track, straight back to pits, and yeah, that is race done.
Yeah, really good job there, getting it off the track as far. That was scary though, because that spits the angle that arm code spits the cars back onto the track. So yeah, isn't it fantastic to like watch a good driver have an incident and just like make it look clean on the end? Do you know what I mean? Like it's like stacking the crash on in a trick sport, like a BMX rider or a mountain bike rider or something, and they just like get straight back up and then just correct where they got to go. Okay, I'm just going over here. I'm out of the way. I'm not going to murder anyone else.
or it's like that one
skateboarder,
video.
Yeah,
like that one skateboarding video where this guy he's trying to do a grind, fails, like bails it, and then just like basically lands
on the board,
like lands on his board, and then
sitting on his bum, right?
Sitting on his bum. That's it. That's the one.
Yeah, I was thinking it's probably more like a snowboard, because often snowboarders, they have the tumble, but they've got the momentum, so they just dig in their board and stand back up again. That's kind of what we're seeing. Yeah,
you see like a few somersaults happen, and then they just get back. They just get back onto the surface, and it's.
We've got Pip in the pits, and also Samuel in pits as well. So.
Here we go. Looks like they've decided to blink first.
That's right. So Pip's just doing the ideal strat of keeping the tyres about the same age the whole time, nice and fresh all the time. Strelnikov's also giving himself a 10-second penalty as well now. So, dear, gotta watch that pit lane, guys and girls. That's very, very important. That's 3 people tonight so far, I think.
3 people. Wait,
that have got pit lane penalties.
Yes. Yes. So that's.
It's easy to do here. You come in very, very fast, and it's just brake as late as you can.
That's it. Like, you really, really need to. If there's any track you need to practice your pit lane entry, it is definitely here, because you have to arrest a lot of speed, especially going through the Parabolica. You're at the top of the 4th gear, I believe, and they're again just using all the track that they can coming out of Lesmo too. And just that's what you got to do to be a top driver. You just got to use every little bit of road. Just get on the throttle as quick as you can. Just
using all the curb here too. Look at the way the car just dances through there, and that little touch of gravel. I don't know how there's not a penalty thing out there. Obviously it's not, because they're doing it lap after lap after lap. So I used to play the F1 games, and the second your wheel touches over the line, it's like that. 5-second penalty. Nah, 5-second
Yeah,
penalty.
that's it.
Oh, man.
I did find that the track limits here are very lenient, especially at a track like Monza. So yeah, you can run very, very wide through Lesmo 1 and Lesmo 2. You won't get pinged. You do have to be a little bit careful with the Scari, the first part of a Scari anyway, as if you have like obviously all four wheels off there,
Yep.
you will get a track cut. But yeah, generally for the whole track, it is very extremely lenient, especially when you see just through there Pip just taking a lot of like just all the road and more coming out of the last part of Ascari there. But
Alright.
yeah, it's
That's crazy. So we've got 10 leaving the pits right now. It's still such a long run. And I'd say it's going to let him go now. Oh my goodness, it's such a long pit. So here comes Pip. Pip's going to go flying past on the outside. And yeah, it's probably about the same gap it was. Might be a little bit closer again.
Pretty much as you are. Like, I think the gap is exactly the same, and you know, Pip's still got to still firing up her tires just a little bit. Tan's now in the process of firing up the tires, so yeah, but Tan I think has made a bit of a net gain here, only just slightly.
Yeah, same as like, yeah, it's actually a second now, so pulling in 9/10 in that in-out lap process. But again, it's probably going to lose another 3/4 on the last half of this lap, and then he'll be up about half a second. But Pip over the length of the stint actually did pull away last time, so we'll see what the difference is here. Oh gee, and really pushing hard not to lose.
That's it.
Any time.
Staying in the pits, so he was battling with Houlihan,
Yep.
a little bit with Samuel, I believe.
That's right. Yeah, they're a bit behind Samuel. So Houlihan's actually pulled it down to 3 seconds now. I wonder if he's going to. Wow, look at the curb jump there from 10. 10's only lost 0.1. All right, so yeah, 10's got it closer. Not quite within slipstream range though. I think he was hoping to be able to get it within slipstream range to sort of pull himself along a bit.
10 most definitely on the charge here, so it's kind of a role reversal for of last week.
Yes.
10 was getting hunted down by Pip, and now Pip is, you know, maybe just a slight bit vulnerable to 10 here.
Possibly. Again, she's pulled out 2/10 between turn 3 and the end of the lap. So the coal tires advantage was there, and now it's potentially slipped away. We'll see how perfect the laps can 10 drive.
Ooh, we had a bit of a yellow there for I didn't catch that, but I think someone must have gone off.
Oh, those Hignet's just gone in the pits as well. He's actually, I feel Hignet's a fair bit out of position. Are they? Oh no, it's about where they're meant to be. Let's see. So where has Zach Smith ended up? Zach Smith is 10th now after all the pit stops, right behind Sweet. But make that 5th as Hignet gets adjusted from the pit stops. And did our other AVR driver leave?
Morella is still... Morella.
Oh, there's Morella.
Okay.
Morella's in P16. All right.
Still kicking in P16, so a bit of a recovery drive from Morella, I believe, that had to repair a lot of damage from that turn 1 skirmish, unfortunately. So yeah, just a bit of a recovery drive here. So but still in the race, still collecting points. So and just letting the rear end just kick out just that little bit there. Every driver has done it. It never gets old.
No. And that was a 6.3 that last lap by Pip, so she is absolutely moving. Second faster than the person we're on board with, Corey Sweet in P8, who has a miracle of Zach Smith
That's it, and a very, very hungry McLaren looking to just
He's going to have a look.
swallow the Ferrari up down the straight, diving from the outside, and looks like Sweet just let it by.
I was going to say, I'm like, holy cow, how much later is he going to brake? And then I realized, oh, okay, they weren't in the braking zone yet.
There we go. I think Sweet just consolidating his position right now as he's on the zero practice strat. So he's doing very well right now.
Yeah.
Sitting, comfortably in the top 10, I'd say. So, yeah.
And yeah, Zach's P2 in the championship. You're not fighting him really. And you're probably just going to lose more time forcing him to have a hard pass on you. So just let him go. See if you can tag along. See if you can learn something from him. And get a little bit of a tow as well. You know, it's important not to mess up your race trying to gain one position. It's probably unrealistic to keep. Because this is definitely a McLaren favoured track as well. And we've got the two Porsches having a little battle for 13th.
That's it. Just the two long lost brothers there, just having a little bit of a ding dong battle there, and yeah, just nice to have them together again.
Yeah, I don't think they are teammates though, but yes, they're the two Porsches. I'm sure they'll be nice to each other.
Exactly, a little bit of affinity there from like both the two of the same manufacturers there, like a Ford and Chevrolet in the supercars, like the Ford, so a little bit nicer to the other Fords, I'd say.
That's right. And these two did qualify right next to each other, and they're up one position each. So, and they're still in the same position they qualified, and they qualified within 0.04 of each other. So this is probably the difference of what 0.04 a lap is. Oh, here we go. Having a little look down the inside, but then having to go to the outside is Gallo, sorry.
A slight overlap there, but it looks like Gallo is prioritizing a better exit, and he does not get it, unfortunately. So good defense from Cook there. And I believe Cook was Brad with us. Did he join us in the commentary box? No.
No.
Is that another Cook? Is that another Cook?
Possibly. George Cook.
That's it. That's the one. Yeah, so too many cooks.
Too many cooks in the kitchen? Oh, sorry.
That's it. Tim takes a lot to make a stew.
Oh, you're probably too young to know that reference.
I only know the too many cooks thing from it's like an Adult Swim thing, and it just
yes, yeah, it's an old skit thing, yeah.
That's it. Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyways, we're just showing our age there, so.
That's right. We'll let the Zoomers race here. How about that?
That's it. We'll let the Zoomers zoom.
Yeah.
As we have a look to the rest of the pack there, Sang is only 0.8 behind Houlihan here, so Sang with a bit of like pace up his sleeve, and Houlihan has brought that gap down from, I believe it was almost 3.7 seconds now down to 2.4 seconds behind Samuel now. So yeah, the fight is definitely on for the podium, the last spot on the podium here. So yeah,
my only thought is he's going to run out of time. There's only 7 minutes left, so not too many laps. And again, the Laundry House Racing Porsche is looking on the outside.
Gonna try definitely a better run here, and Cook just getting so much better traction despite the slightly compromised line. Gallo just can't put the power down the same way as Cook can.
Yeah, they might be running slightly different setups, because man, does that Laundry House Racing car seem fast in a straight line. It's they might be running totally different setups or identical setups, so just definitely looking so much quicker at different parts of the track. So that's a really nice exit there by Gallo, and again Gallo going right out on the curbs, tucking right in behind. Fastest lap by Dylan Tan.
Here we go. This is it's starting to heat up at the front here. 46 dead, and now the gap is almost down to a second as we see a little bit of a look from Gallo there. He definitely wasn't going to go for the move going through Ascari, but you know, it's just to fill the mirrors just that little bit more, give them something to think about.
Dylan Tan again. It's so hard for these cars up front because they're so close on pace. They have to all of a sudden magically be about 0.3 a lap faster. Yeah, Dylan will need to be the Filippo to catch. I don't think Filippo is going to let that happen.
That's it, but the gap is coming down ever so slightly. Just over 5 minutes to go, and
here's the look. This is
the look.
More of an overlap.
There we go, and big overlap here from Gallo, and Gallo gets the move done, but Cook, we know, is great on corner exit. Just gets a little bit squirrely this time, and Gallo finally gets the move done. And that's him up into, well, with the corrected time penalty, will be P12.
Yes, and we're running the dual camera look at the moment, so we're looking for at the battle of P2. I'd love to see the battle of P2 from onboard Dylan's car if that's possible. Because
I was gonna say the gap has gone down by 3/10.
So Pip must have made a mistake here. So let's see on board what it's like to be one of the best drivers in the world in ACC, chasing down another one of the best drivers in the world.
It's just absolute aliens everywhere. Aliens everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Insert the meme. Look at that. So, absolutely sitting dead in the wheel tracks, True, trying to get any draft at all off the back. See, 0.7, you might start to get potential, a little bit of a draft here. The ever so little bit, you know, you might gain another couple of horsepower. It looked like Pip ran a little bit wide there. So I'd say he's going to close up a bit here again. That wasn't the smoothest by Pip to that, yeah, in the turn 3 and 4 there.
Hey, what though? Yeah. It's gonna all come down to who has the most top speed, because we all know that the McLaren has, well, better top speed really in this game, but as we can see, the BMW is still quite strong. It is quite strong in the corners, but if I'm going to be honest, the pass around here is not made in the corners, it is made on the straights.
That's right, yeah. And Dylan Tan not being in Australia does have quite a bit more ping than Pip, so it does make passing a little bit harder again because of that small delay that he has to deal with. I mean, it won't look so obvious on our end, but on his end he'll have to be fighting just a little bit. As Pip, Dylan actually hops into the 1 minute 45s.
Insane, absolutely insane pace here. I was just watching him going through Parabolica and just darted the car to the apex there, and it just stuck and closed up. He closed up a lot of time through that first chicane there, and don't discount Tan here. Only 2.5 minutes to go, but Tan is looking very, very racy.
So it'll be this lap plus one more. No, this lap plus one more. So second last lap.
2 more laps to go, I guess. So yeah, and the gap is now down to 0.3, so
he's in the draft now, so he's closing it right up.
That's it. So Tam will now have to pick his moment. We'll have to just be patient, a little bit of patience, and just find
the track.
Find where Pip is vulnerable and exploit every last drop out of that, and we're set for another grandstand finish here, ladies and gentlemen. It's another really close finish, just like it was 1 week ago. Get ready, get the
2 tenths.
just 2 tenths behind now. So Again,
He needs
too close
another
to
lap.
fourth.
I feel he needs another lap because really turn one's the passing place. Although Tan's going for, can he get the big draft here? Because you get the big suck all the way up the main straight, pulls you close enough to potentially have a look into.
Lost a little bit of time there, but as you can see, he's gaining and gaining just
Look at
that
the
little bit.
slipstream.
286 kilometers an hour as there was a little bit of a gap on the outside there. But
Oh, Pip does it. Right. Check. All right. Okay.
oh, that was a.
That I feel she's extra slowed it up there to try and throw him off a bit.
Now Tan's just going to be on the rear diffuser, on the rear exhaust, everywhere, just touching the everywhere on the rear of the car as Tan goes for a big move, darts left and then right, and it's well, what do you think, Justin? What are we going to get?
I don't know. It might come to grief between these. Oh, they sent. Oh my goodness! I thought he was going to send it straight in the side of her there, but
Tan's getting a little bit impatient here. He really needs to get the composure back, and he'll have only the last sector to make this move happen. Really needs to get the composure down. It's just flicking it left and right, and just not setting up a move correctly. Is going through a scurry. This could be the race here, and oh, that was a little bit of a sideways moment there from Tan, and I'm gonna be honest, I think Bakita has got the race.
Yeah, he needed another lap. I think he would come out of here and be right on her tail and then just get a slipstream. But we'll stay on board because it's going to be close as they come across the line.
And Bakita,
wow.
Yeah. Wow, what a race that was, and another close finish for Pip. And as Pip takes out P1 once more, Tan a very, very close second. And Samuel there taking the honors of the podium there. Houlihan finishing very close behind in P4. Sang P5 and P2 for the internationals as Rajmat will round up the podium for the internationals there, taking it home in P6. Very solid drive there. Zachary Smith in P7.
Yeah, fantastic comeback for Zach Smith there too.
Absolutely.
Considering he was caught up in that incident in turn 1 and had a whole bunch of damage to repair.
As we see Burst there in P10 from P20 on the grid. Excellent drive from Godzilla there. As Ty takes P11 and Hindy, unfortunately with that 10-second penalty, will slip down the order. Gallo with
right away too. Yeah.
Oh, Gallo with P12, Cook with P13, and yeah, I'm predicting Hindy will slip down field. There it is.
Yeah,
P16.
Ouch.
That is a big off above ever.
Yeah. Penalties are so big in this when the field is this close. So there's a final look at our race today. That was exceptional racing by the front two again, just showing how quick they are. They did finish 11 seconds ahead of Samuel, who drove a really fast time, a really fast race with Houlihan chasing him down as well. So great job to Houlihan, who led the race in the first corner, and then somewhat caused a bit of a chain reaction, or was part of the cars that caused the chain reaction with his awesome dive. Again, I think it was the absolute perfect dive. Unfortunately, he got a little bit touched as it happened, so it didn't end up being the perfect dive. But man, what a close race. I'm looking forward to next week, the last round. Thank you so much for commentating with me tonight, Scooney. And
absolute pleasure. That was some really close racing, and the gaps in qualifying, it only just gave us a little tease of what we were getting in the race, and the race certainly delivered there. P1 and P2 separated by just over 0.2 of a second, so another close finish to round out proceedings here. And yeah, I'm thoroughly entertained, and I hope you guys that are watching at home or watching through the live stream of Octane Online Racing are thoroughly entertained.
Yeah, so this has been the Motorsport Australia Simagic GT3 Cup, brought to you by Octane Online Racing. Glenn has been pushing the buttons tonight. Give him a big thank you. Big thank you to all the stewards as well and all the drivers for putting on a fantastic show. We will see you next week, same time. I have been Justin Tate, and he has been a schooner. I'm going to go have a schooner now.
Just go.
Thank you very much, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. Tell all your friends about next week, because it's going to be the season finale. We're probably going to be crowning Philippa because she is so far ahead on points, but the battle is on for second place in the Australian Drivers' Championship. We'll see you all next week.
Catch you then.